Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter GameDay Show, energized by Celsius, the official energy drink of PewterReport.com. We all bleed the same. That's right. The Pewter GameDay Show is presented by Celsius, the official energy drink of PewterReport.com. I'm Matt Matera. Joined with me is my fellow colleague from PewterReport.com, Josh Capo, as we break down everything that we are going to see for Bucs versus Lions. It's the creamsicle game. The creamsicles are back, and I think that's got everybody in a good mood. So we'll have an hour pregame show, which is currently underway. And then don't touch that dial. Make sure that you stay tuned because we'll be live for the Game Day Show at kickoff at 4:25. Myself and Josh Capo will be on giving our reactions and analysis to every single thing that is going on in the Bucs versus Lions game. Whether it's good, whether it's bad, we will have an opinion on it. So hopefully it's more good than bad when you have these two one-loss teams that are leading their division facing off in a very exciting game that got flexed to 425 just so that everybody can see not just these two teams, but the creamsicle jerseys as well. And by the way, speaking of Bucs versus Lions, still have a little bit more time. You have about an hour to get those bets in. Of course, you can place those bets for Bucs versus Lions over at mybookie.ag. Make sure you use the promo code Pewter. That's PEWTER. MyBookie is the best place to do all of your gambling, whether it's football, any of the sports that you are a fan of or that you just like betting on. I know hockey's back. Baseball's about to start the AL and NLCS. Basketball's right around the corner, and you always got your UFC and golf and whatever else that you're into. So use that promo code Pewter, PEWTER. Get a first deposit bonus all the way up to $200 and use a minimum of $45 as well. It's absolutely free money. So even if you learn from Plant City Math, you know that that is a heck of a deal. MyBookie.ag also has an awesome online casino. It's just like you're going to the Hard Rock in Tampa or your casino of choice. So one last time, MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code Pewter and start winning some money. Place your bets now. All right. I'm your host, Matt Matera. Joined with me is my colleague, Josh Capo. Josh, we are back from the bye, and it's creamsicle week. It's creamsicle week.
It is creamsicle week, but I have to ask, Matt, what day is it?
It's a creamsicle game day, and I love that you sent me a video on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now, and with all the different mats. I have thought of before. I don't have any children. If I have kids one day, and if I have a son, I've thought about naming my son Matthew McConaughey Matera. I think that would objectively be hilarious. Now, I don't know if I should just name a child's name just because I think it's kind of funny and it's a good joke. But nonetheless, that has crossed my mind. But anyway.
Well, real quick, I'm gonna go on a tangent based on what you said. So you know, I have two kids, and I think some of our viewers may know that. I talk about them a little bit on Twitter and whatnot. So my son, his name is Gage, and then our last name, Capo, starts with Q. It's a little bit of an odd spelling of it. My daughter, her name is Gray. And my wife and I, long time ago, we agreed we were going to name our kids all starting with G. What I didn't tell her at the time, but she has since found out, and she's not thrilled with it, is I've had that idea since I was like 15 because I wanted my kids' initials to be GQ because they were just going to be that cool, right?
Yeah.
So she found that out after like we named the first one, like he was about 2, and I finally admitted it to her, and she's like, "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life." And I was like, well, you're already along for the ride, so buckle up.
I absolutely love it. And I love all the Pewter people that are watching this show and will be watching this show as we move forward. Shaggy says, Matty D and JQ, creamsicle jerseys, the real Bucko Bruce returns. Sorry, BA. Old school rivalry renewed. Let's go, Bucs. And I saw someone that's a little upset. Why are y'all not wearing orange? Well, that's a fair question. I do have this creamsicle cup, which shout out to the Bucs, shout out to PDQ. PDQ obviously is an advertiser of the Bucs, and they were giving out. First of all, they gave lunch to the media on Monday, which was super nice, and it's part of a promotional deal. They're giving a lot of creamsicle stuff out on behalf of PDQ. So didn't want to have this during the show, just so I have some creamsicle going on. So yeah, very excited about the creamsicles. It's great that they're back, as Paul, aka Florida Dreamhouse, says GQ with the love, and Gaming Wizard says go Bucs. So this is obviously a very fun matchup to get into. So the Game Day Inactives just came out a little while ago. Let's get into it, Josh. Well, the Bucs, the Inactives. Outside linebacker Anthony Nelson. He had concussion that he practiced during the week and then was a late addition to the injury report on Friday, at least in his designation, going from not even being on it at all to being doubtful for the game. The other ones out are David Wells, Pat O'Connor, Brandon Walton, and Derek Pitts Jr. Really only David Wells comes as a bit of a surprise since he was utilized in the offense a fair amount. But on the Lions side, you had Stephen Gilmore, Jahmyr Gibbs, Brian Branch, Jonah Jackson, James Mitchell, and Broderick Martin, all inactive for the Bucs game. So really with the big one, Josh, being Anthony Nelson, that means that Shaq Barrett's good to go. Actually, PewterReport.com, SR, Scott Reynolds, reported that earlier on. He broke that news that Shaq is going to be playing this game. That also means we're going to see a little bit more of Yaya Diaby at outside linebacker today.
Yeah, him, and I believe Marquise Watts is active, and I want to say Jose Ramirez was elevated and active, if I remember correctly. So a couple of guys who were kind of camp standouts, or in Ramirez's case, not so much camp standout, but a lot of people, myself included, were pretty excited about him relative to his draft position. And then I think, so you'll see Yaya a bit more. I think it means that the Bucs are going to have to lean on JTS more. He's going to have to show up and have a big game, not just, and this is coming from me, right? Not just from a pressure standpoint, but he's going to have to make a couple of plays where he actually influences the ball more than just what a pressure would be. With Wells, what's interesting is I do believe that means Payne Durham is dressing for the first time this year. Which may mean that while Dave Canales has publicly stated that he's happy with his tight end room, they haven't gotten a ton of production out of it. And he may be trying to change some things up and see how Payne may do in some 13 or even some 12 personnel sets, especially down at the goal line, right? That was his big thing in college, is he was more of a goal line threat, big body. And let's see if the Bucs can maybe leverage that and get a score out of the rookie.
Yeah, I do like the move, and I'm going to try while we're doing this show to put up as many creamsicle stuff as I possibly can. So that's why we saw, I don't know if this is Captain Fear or Bucko Bruce, or if it's just two different.
It's their baby.
Yeah, or it's their different personalities. Like Beyonce is Beyonce, and then she's also Sasha Fierce for those that are part of the Bay Hive. But anyway, yeah, I do.
It's amazing that you know that. The amount of cultural references that you can throw out at any given moment in time is astounding and phenomenal.
No, I appreciate that because I try to be as diverse as possible. I love sports. I love covering football. I watch a ton of sports outside of it, but I can also talk Vanderpump Rules with the best of them, or any reality show, or whatever it is. So I try to be as in touch with as much pop culture as I possibly can. But to get back to the tight ends, I'm fully with you. It was so funny because the other day I was looking up a different stat about just the overall production that the Bucs have been getting in the passing game. Like, it's so top heavy with Mike and Chris, and understandably so. I don't think that's a shocker to anyone else. But the next closest in terms of receiving yardage for the Bucs, shockingly, is Cade Otton. And I believe the number, I know it's less than 100, which is like just crazy to think that you have Mike and Chris, 300, whatever, 200, whatever, and then no one is even at 100, triple digits outside of that. And what brings the Bucs passing yards down just a little bit, it doesn't really make a huge difference at the end of the day, is David Wells has like -10 receiving yards on the season. So David Wells, who was a great guy in training camp, the Falcons just threw a pick in the end zone in the fourth quarter, so Bucs fans will be very happy about that. All he's done is he fumbled. He's had a couple of costly penalties and hasn't really provided much. Keith is just a blocker at this point and an okay blocker at that aspect. So I really like the idea of Payne Durham potentially getting some snaps on offense this week and see what he can do, and particularly in the red zone, just as you were talking about, Josh. And maybe Payne Durham for this tight end room specifically can provide a little bit of jolt to this group, maybe a little bit of energy, just like how I feel when I have a Celsius energy drink, the presenting sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast. Check out all their great flavors. The Cosmic Vibe is their newest one, sparkling fruit punch, but you can't go wrong with any of the other flavors out there. My personal favorite is the Arctic Vibe. We've been giving away free cases of sparkling orange, and we'll announce the final winner of that on the Pewter Post-Game Show today. We've had a ton of great comments and questions with everybody that became eligible to win the free case of Celsius, which was by super chatting us and leaving a comment or question or whatever it is. But anyway, no sugar, no post-energy drink crash or jitters that you might get with another product out there. If you need to know where to find one, go to the Celsius store locator on your on the Celsius website. Punch in your address or location, and it'll tell you the closest place where you can pick one up, whether it's your local Walmart, Target, convenience store, health and fitness store, or your bodega. And then this is where Scott will go, bodega.
I was gonna try and give it my best go at it. You wanna see if I can do it?
Right on.
Here we go. Bodega.
That was great. I will give it I'll give it an 8.7 out of 10. Because if I give it a 10 out of 10, then
you're saying I'm as good as Scott, and we all know that's not the case.
No, not even that. It's just like that means there can never be another better bodega out of there. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I do. I got you. Yeah, I'm with you.
You can't top it if that's the case. And then, of course, if you want to get Celsius in bulk, as the Saints are trying to make a comeback, if you want to get your Celsius in bulk, that's when you go to Amazon, click on the subscribe and save, and you can have it sent to your, as Kyle Dugan says, bodega. Have it sent to your house or apartment every week, month, quarterly, yearly, whenever you want it. Just make sure you're drinking Celsius energy drinks, the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast. All right, let's get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty of these matchups. We're going to talk about when the Bucs are on offense, and Mr. Capo, Mr. Q, as some call you. What do you want to see from Tampa Bay's offense today? I know you've written about it. We've talked about it a lot as well. What in particular do you want to see from the Bucs offense today that you think will make them successful in a highly coveted matchup against the Detroit Lions?
Yeah, I think the big thing is they need to test the cornerbacks for Detroit. I don't think Detroit's like outside corners are that fantastic. And to the point you were just making not too long ago, like the Bucs' top two receivers have really been the engine that has driven this offense along with Baker Mayfield. So I want to see the Bucs try and test those guys. I look back at Dave Canales said on his during his recent press conference that he was able to take a lot of things away from the last two matchups the Seahawks had against the Lions. Seahawks had 38 points week 2 against them in an overtime win. And then last year, I want to say that game was like 90-83. I don't think defense was a part of the Seattle-Detroit matchup last year, which is amazing if you like watching points scored. But obviously, Seattle was able to get a lot of things going in their last two matchups. And Canales said, I was able to take a lot from that. And it makes sense because he brought the Seattle offense over to Tampa Bay. There are a ton of similarities between the two, especially when you look at the receivers. And they were able to isolate DK Metcalf against the Detroit Lions corner, name's slipping me right now. I'll figure it out in a second. And to a great degree of success, deep outs, comebacks, curls, skinny posts, all of those where they were able to wait until Detroit got into a single high coverage look, one deep safety. That safety had to shade over to the concept side. You had DK matched up one-on-one as the X receiver. Bucs fans will know this from the last few years, under Leftwich. That's something that they should be able to succeed this week today with Mike Evans getting those same isolated matchups. And I think that can really help them out. And I think, to the concept side, you'll be able to get some good looks with Chris Godwin one-on-one against their other outside corner. So I think that's the first part. That's kind of where you start. And from there, you layer in the play action and you take advantage of the Lions linebackers. And everybody talks about, you run your pass game off of your running game. I want to see them kind of work inversely from that. Start with your pass game, loosen up the defense, get some lighter boxes, and then hit them with a good amount of run.
Yeah, you've actually been an advocate of that for a while now. Obviously, you're talking about specifically for this game, but you've wanted this not even from this season. You wanted it from last season as well.
Yeah.
You're a huge advocate of throw first to set up the run, and I think that's really
philosophically
important.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I think that's even more important with the fact that the Bucs run game has struggled, but even more than that, because it's been more up and down, I should say, than struggled wholeheartedly. But the Lions have a fantastic run-stopping defense. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a second, but you did mention the Seahawks offense against the Lions previously, and Dave Canales, obviously, his having a hand in all of that. He did speak about watching the Lions Seahawks tape this season and how much that'll help him for this matchup.
The Lions played Seattle, and the Seahawks did a fairly good job in terms of scoring. Yeah. Does it help you to see a similar offense against this defense? It obviously gives them a look at what close to what you'll have as well. But is there a benefit in seeing how they handled that offense already this year?
Oh yeah, and we played them last year too in Detroit. So 2 games right there, really valuable stuff for us. And it, even on a micro level, just the techniques of how they play. The different shades that they play on the defensive front, some of the secondary players and how they stack up against similar bodies. DK and Mike are bigger guys. Chris is a bigger guy, so they can kind of see some of those things. Of course, they have a few new players, but it's really helpful. And then, honestly, just crossing over, there's some similarities with Detroit's offense. I really regard them highly and have kind of followed their progress over the last 3 years. Just the development of their offense, the run game, the play actions, the attitude. It's really a style that I would love to look like that eventually as we put things together, and really get polished. This is a team that's in their 3rd year looking pretty polished. So that helps too, for our defense, kind of looking at some of the things they might see similarly to our attack on offense.
What's your expectation, your prediction for the run game today? And do you think Canales will go a little bit more into his bag of tricks? Because I think we started seeing the playbook open up just a little bit more against the Saints 2 weeks ago in their last game. And maybe that was by necessity because Mike Evans got injured. And for everything that we talked about, that it's been essentially a one-man show. By the way, while we're talking about the Bucs, I know Bucs fans care very much about what's happening in the NFC South. The Washington Commanders just got a stop on the Falcons on 4th down. So Washington will be getting the ball back with an opportunity to close the game out, which is gigantic for the Bucs because they play against the Falcons next week. And the Saints game as well. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place here, but I think people want to watch their rivals lose because who doesn't like a little spite in these matchups? As C.J. Stroud was going deep, and they throw a pass interference. All right, I'm doing a little bit of the Pewter GameDay Show.
Let's go.
The Bucs actually play. They just called a pass interference penalty on the Saints. That's going to give the Texans a 1st down with an opportunity to close the game out as well. And the Panthers are getting smoked by the Dolphins. But, credit to the Panthers, a nice moral victory going up 14-0 against the Dolphins in this game. But Bucs fans got to be very happy with what they're seeing against the Saints and the Falcons. But Josh, to get back on track, the Bucs running game, what do you expect to see from them today?
Yeah, I think that there is an opportunity for them to get going a little bit better than they have recently. Detroit has a very talented defense, but it's kind of, I would say you've got a lot of dudes and then you've got a lot of guys who kind of fit a role well. And the interior defensive line for Detroit, in my opinion, isn't that awesome in terms of run defense. Aleem McNeil is having a solid year, but Benito Jones, for me, I don't think he's that amazing. I think that he can be run on. And I think that this could be a get right game for Robert Hainsey. And if they can get Hainsey working well, even average next to Cody Mock, and I think that they have an opportunity to really go for, let's say, 120 yards.
Wow.
I think that's within the realm of possibility, especially if they can keep, and I'm never this guy, but I'm going to be this guy today. If they can keep balanced, right, and keep Detroit off guard. Detroit's offense is fantastic, but their defense is a little bit more hit or miss, and I think the Bucs have an opportunity to hit.
That's a bold proclamation to get 120 yards through the air.
Should probably get that in on Underdog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We'll have that promo in a in a little bit, and then of course the biggest matchup for the Bucs is going to be stopping Aiden Hutchinson. Obviously, this guy is kind of a freak of nature. He has 4.5 sacks, and that's after getting off to a slow start as the Panthers are getting a pick 6 in garbage time. I don't want to get too much into it just because we'll have the big matchups later on in the show, but priority number one has to be shutting down Aiden Hutchinson, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, he is the most dangerous person on that defense. And don't get me wrong, he is a fantastic player. He can win to the edge. He's got a great little inside spin move that Luke Gedeke is going to have to look out for. And he's solid against the run. The Lions this year, after his really good rookie year, they've started to move him around more. You'll see him on, late and long, where they'll move him inside, as a pass rush specialist, interior rusher. The thing that sets him apart from a lot of other guys, and I would say it's kind of him and TJ Watt occupy this special place, it's his motor. He does everything at 1,000 miles an hour, and it allows him to pick up 2 to 3 sacks a year that he normally wouldn't, that he doesn't get through winning a rep one-on-one, but he just doesn't stop, and then things flow into him, or he'll chase stuff down from the backside. It's something every defensive coordinator and head coach wants every player to embody, but so few have that hot of a motor for every rep, from the start of the rep to the echo of the whistle. Hutchinson has that. He's that dude you just want on your team, because you can tell he loves playing the game so much. Yeah. And he's going to play at 1,000,000 miles an hour until he can't anymore. And Gedeke's going to have to really keep an eye on that. The whole offense is, Canales is going to have to scheme it, to try and limit his impact, but he can wreck a drive and he can wreck a game.
That's literally what I was about to say, is that he can be a game wrecker. And I like that you brought up the effort, because you hear coaches say it all the time. The 2 things you can, and players say it too, the 2 things you can control is your attitude and your effort. And obviously Aiden Hutchinson brings that. I think you could say that a ton about a lot of Bucs players as well. But yeah, I think he is priority numero uno when it comes to, having the offense be efficient today. And if you want to be efficient in your home buying, you got to find the right people to work with to find that dream home that you are looking for. And there's no better place in the business to work with than with Eric Gross and the Eric Gross Group. Eric is a huge Bucs fan. He moved back to Tampa. His father worked in the military as well and was based out of Tampa, the MacDill Air Force for a while. So he's a family person. Him and his wife work together with the Eric Gross Group. And home buying is such an important thing to do. It's one of the most important decisions that you'll make in your life. So you want someone in your corner that legitimately cares about what you want with your home buying experience. He's not just there to get the job done and then move on to the next one. He wants to hear you out. He wants to know your family, know exactly what you're looking for. Like I said, Eric has a family of his own, so he understands all the ins and outs of, I need this for my child here. I need this for my wife there, or husband, or whatever it is. So check out the Eric Gross Group and his realty company. They're the official realtor of PewterReport.com. Go to www.housesinflorida.com. Once again, that's www.housesinflorida.com. If you're trying to sell your home as well, Eric can help you in that department too. Just a super awesome guy. He's been on the Pewter Report podcast at least twice so far, and looking forward to having him on again at some point. So Eric Gross Group, for all your home buying needs, check it out today. And of course, Eric Gross Group is the official sponsor of when the Bucs are on offense and also when the Bucs are on defense. So let's move over to that defensive side of the football. That's the matchups. We'll get to the matchups in a little bit. But Josh, for the Bucs defense, I mean, they've been the locomotive for this team. They're the reason that the Bucs are 3-1, in my opinion. And with the exception of playing against the Eagles, this has to be their toughest test to date.
Absolutely, without a doubt. The Eagles could have been, but the Eagles aren't the Eagles offense hasn't kind of hit the strides that they were last year. And Detroit's just, I mean, they're, I would say, outside of San Francisco, possibly the top offense in the NFL right now. And what Ben Johnson, their offensive coordinator, is doing, the innovation and just the diversity of his run game, it's amazing. Like, I was watching their last week matchup, and it was just like every other run was some new scheme. Like, and they execute all of it so well. That's the amazing thing about it. They'll run mid zone, they'll run wide zone, they'll run duo, they'll run pin and pull, they'll run traps and counters. And it's just like, if you're a opposing linebacker, you can't sit on anything. And then from there, they've got play action off of each of those blocking schemes. And that's really where you can fake out linebackers. It's not just the faking of the handoff, but they're reading the offensive line. And what is the offensive line doing? And they're selling those run blocks at an absolutely just incredible rate. And it's giving Jared Goff all the time in the world to find talented playmakers in space. Sam Laporta, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams is back. I mean, Josh Reynolds has had a really great season. So, it gives them, there's nothing they can't reach into their bag and pull out. And it's going to be, I would say, the biggest test for the Bucs this year, even bigger than Philly. And it'll be interesting to see if this defense is up for it. I am excited that the Bucs have, I would say, kind of a potential playmaker coming back for his second game of the season to potentially try and wreck some of that, right? Because
I think that's
back, right?
He is back. I think that's one of the most exciting things for Bucs fans. I mean, one, they're relatively healthy. I mean, you saw the game day inactives and who's not on that list for both sides of the football. But Kalijah Kancey, I think, has to be the most exciting, outlook out of all this, because he only played 11 snaps against the Vikings and looked really damn good in those 11 snaps. Now, granted, it's one game, first game of the season. But I really do think that he can take this defense to another level. I think specifically with the pass rush. And I think part of the reason why you've seen the Bucs outside linebackers struggle is because of that. Sometimes the outside linebackers need a little bit of help with getting the pocket pushed in the interior, and that kind of helps things funnel out to the outside linebackers on the other side. So getting Kalijah Kancey in there, I mean, Vita has already been dominating games. I mean, he leads the Bucs in sacks still right now, and just picking up where he left off last season. And not that, Vita Vea is going to rest on his laurels at all or slack off now that Kalijah Kancey's in here. But now that Vita doesn't have to put everything on him and Kalijah Kancey can pick it up just a little bit, I think this will do wonders for this team, especially with the healthy secondary, which they haven't had in quite a while.
Yeah, and I mean, just one other thing, if you can call it a silver lining from Kancey being out, is the Lions just don't have much tape on him. Mm-hmm. And that in and of itself can allow him to win 2 to 3 reps against some really good interior guys. I mean, Frank Ragnow is probably a top 2 to 3 center in the NFL, depending on if you still consider Ryan Jensen a center in the NFL, unfortunately, due to his injury. But the other thing is, the Lions don't have their starting, I think, right guard, right? Graham Glasgow is in there as a because Vita is, I want to say, on IR. So that gives Kancey an opportunity to win some one-on-one reps and free up potentially Vita Vea. So it gives the Bucs offense or defense a dynamic that they lack when Kancey's just not in the lineup, right? Mike Green, Will Golston, and Greg Gaines, they just don't provide that same juice that Kancey can provide.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair. And that's the reason why Kalijah Kancey was a first-round pick. Yeah, exactly. They took him there for a reason. And like we talked about, the secondary is going to be healthy as well. Shout out Donnie Abraham, also a former New York Jet great. But we're talking about the creamsicles today, which is why I have him on here. We'll have Carlton and Jamel together for the first time since week 1.
Yep.
And Zion McCollum obviously is making a case to get more playing time as well. Would you rotate Zion in with the rest of them? Do you think Jamel Dean deserves more time to kind of get his game together, just given his track record with the Bucs? How do you see that?
No, because I don't think that, Jamel's just got to figure it out on the field. I don't think there's anything he's going to be able to do in practice or through a rotation that's going to get him there. Zion's done an incredible job of making the case that, he should be considered for starting reps, but maybe you create a package with all 3 of them on the field. Because Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, he's probably the toughest slot test that Chris Izien is going to have faced in this young season. And from a body type standpoint, I mean, Izien's pretty small. I would be really interested to see how Zion could fare against Amon-Ra. So I would love to see a package where you get all 3 of them, and maybe he's rotating in for Izien rather than for Dean. I understand Dean has not played well to date, and there are people calling for him to be benched. I will take the larger sample size of what he did over the first 4 years of his career over a few bad games and trust that he's going to figure it out. And the big thing there, I would have a different tune if it was something where you watch the tape and he's not trying. The effort isn't there, but he is still giving it his all. And you can really tell with corners whether they're invested in the game from a mental standpoint based on how they're helping out in run defense and their tackling. And neither of those things have showed up as a fault in his game. He's still tackling well. He's still setting the edge in the run game. He's still contributing there. The effort is there. He's throwing his body into these things. He's just had some bad games from a coverage standpoint. And that's something that, again, the larger sample size, I would say, is going to bear out that he should be able to figure it out. Unless there's obviously he's been banged up, but unless there's an underlying injury that's causing him to have these difficult games, I'm still going to say, let's let Dean figure it out.
I love the point that you made about that the effort's still there. And that's kind of something Todd Bowles always preaches effort, and it kind of goes a little bit differently to when he talks about if you're going to make a mistake, like go full force with the mistake. Don't just kind of half-ass it. And so, Dean's giving all of his effort. It hasn't worked out, but don't give up on him just yet. That'd be really intriguing to see a formation with Zion in there as well. And it's difficult to take him off the field because of how well he's playing and how quick he is. And let's face it, between Carlton, Jamel, and Zion, hands-wise, Zion probably has the best hands.
Yeah, that's true.
Out of all 3.
And Zion has slot experience. I'm not sure if fans remember this, but the Monday Night Football game last year against the Saints, Bowles elected to put him in the slot. He ran that entire game as the starting slot corner. So he's got experience in the slot. And while I want to say he's the biggest corner on the team, right? Which typically lends itself to more of an outside profile. He's also probably the most agile corner on the team. He's setting records in terms of agility scores at his combine. So he's got the hip dexterity and the agility and the quickness and the acceleration to work the two-way goes that are required of a slot corner. So he's got the ability. It would be a very interesting and physical and intimidating kind of rotation to have those three plus Ryan Neal and then Antoine Winfield Jr. as kind of your nickel package. And then you bring Izzy in for some special stuff. I don't think the Bucs are going to do that. They haven't spoken about doing it. But for me, I think that would be a really interesting package. This Saints game's going down to the wire.
It is insane. We might have to do another Pewter game day, just live in-game reaction and analysis to the Saints game, because obviously it's important. Yeah, why not? It's 4th and 10. Why not?
Let's do it.
The Bucs don't play until 4:25, so we have a little bit of time. And yeah, all right. So fourth. Oh, all right. You might be a little bit ahead of me. 4th and 10. Carr's got the ball. He's looking to his left, throwing towards the end zone, looking for Slant Boy, and it's caught by the Texans' defensive back, but he was out of bounds. But it doesn't matter. It's 4th and 10 anyway. That means the Saints are gonna lose. They're losers. They're done. Which means also, no matter what happens in the Bucs game, the Bucs are still going to be in first place next week when they take on the Atlanta Falcons, because the Falcons lost as well. So this playing with house money right now a little bit, Bucs.
That 425 flex is so awesome, because now the Bucs go into it a little less pressure, right? You can really play a little bit more freely, because now no matter what, you're coming out of this week still in first place, right?
Exactly. So you can pad that lead, which is super cool. But Josh, you mentioned before about record-breaking stuff like that. I would love if you and I broke a record today by having the best underdog fantasy pick'ems of all time.
Let's do it.
Of course, underdog fantasy, so much fun to play. Check out my show, Pewter Picks and Props, which comes out every Friday. I pick the spread of the Bucs game along with the over-under. I make some NFL picks as well. And I do my player props, which I'll show you guys in a little bit. But Underdog Fantasy is so much fun to play with their pick'ems. You pick at least 2 players, but you can pick multiple players with their stats, whether it's higher in passing yards, higher in rushing yards, or lower, whatever it is. And you can win up to 20 times your money, depending on how many picks you make. So if you think Mike Evans is going to pop off and you want to do the higher of his receiving yards, go for it. If you think Rachaad White isn't going to play well and you think he's going to have a low amount of rushing yards, pick that too. Like I said, you can win up to 20 times your money. The only thing that you should keep in mind is the insurance. So for those that may not know with the pick'em, the insurance simply is, say you make 5 picks and you hit 4 out of the 5 picks. If you have insurance, you still walk away with money. If you don't do the insurance and you hit 4 out of the 5, you would not win any money at all. Now, the advantage of not doing insurance is if you do hit all 5, you'd win a lot more money than versus hitting 4 out of the 5. So definitely check that out. Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code Pewter. That's PEWTER. And like I said, I got my show, Pewter Picks and Props, that comes out every single Friday. These are my picks for today's game in Bucs versus Lions. I picked 3 for this one, 2 Bucs and a Detroit Lion. I'm going Baker Mayfield higher than 13.5 rushing yards. I think there's been a lot of times this season where Baker has bailed out the offensive line by either tucking it and running or just avoiding the sack. He ran a lot against the Saints 2 weeks ago. I think there's going to be a couple of times where Baker's going to have to fight to get that extra yard, to get that first down, whatever it may be. So it might be one big run that goes for 20 yards, or it might be 7 runs that go for 2 yards, and he gets 14 on the day. I like Baker with the higher than 13.5 rushing yards. Rachaad White, I'm taking lower than 69.5 rushing and receiving yards. I still don't think the running game is going to be exactly where it's at. And I know Rachaad has done a little bit in the passing game. I think with the advantage that the Bucs have with Mike and Chris against the Lions secondary, because of that, they're going to keep airing it out. That just means it won't go to Rachaad White. And then with Josh Reynolds, I know Amon-Ra St. Brown is back. I know Sam Laporta is playing. But Josh Reynolds, with the exception of one game against Atlanta where he didn't even get a target, I mean, he gets about like 60 receiving yards per game. So I don't expect that to change too much just because Amon-Ra St. Brown is active for this one. So taking Baker higher on the rushing yards, Rachaad White lower on the rushing and receiving yards, and Josh Reynolds higher than 35.5 receiving yards. Josh Capo, what do you have?
So I just made my picks.
Oh, cool.
I'm a little bullish on the Bucs offense, so you're going to hear a lot of hires. But I'll start on the Detroit side. I think the Bucs shut out David Montgomery from a touchdown standpoint, and they had half a touchdown as the higher lower for him. So I took the lower there. Then I'm taking higher than 49.5 rushing yards for Rachaad White because we talked about I think the Bucs run game can get going against Detroit today. With Mike Evans working on that hamstring, that hamstring that knocked him out of the Week 4 matchup, I think Chris Godwin's going to get higher than 5 receptions.
Okay,
especially because the Bucs offense has kind of run through the 2 of those. You were talking about like the third highest receiving option for the Bucs this year so far hasn't cracked 100 yards receiving overall. They offered a juiced option on Baker Mayfield passing touchdowns over 1.5. And I always like finding cool thing with underdog is you look through these and some of these pick'ems, you can't like, if you take what they're offering, which in this case was higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns for Baker Mayfield, they juice the payout. So that one gives you a 1.25 multiplier. And then I think Cade Otton, I don't think he's like a big part of the offense, but I think he's going to get something in space over the middle with some extra yak. And so I took higher on 23.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
So I went for a full 5 for like a 25 times payout. So
I love it.
Let's do it.
Go big or go home. So those are our picks for Underdog Fantasy. Use the promo code Pewter, PEWTER. I'll tell you guys my pick for the spread and the over-under at the end of the show today. But let's get into some of these matches of the Bucs offense and the Lions defense, the key matchups that we are all looking at. Starting off with right guard Cody Mauch against Lions defensive tackle Alim McNeill. Josh, who do you got in this one?
So I think Mauch is going to win this one. I've been very much impressed with his ability in pass protection, so far this year, which has been a pleasant surprise. I think I've said this a few different times, very much like a Tristan Wirfs career arc for the first few games of his career. Wirfs was known as more of a run blocking tackle coming out of Iowa. And then he just hit the league and he's like, oh, I'm going to shut down every edge rusher who comes my way. Nobody's touching my quarterback. And Mauch has done very similarly where he came from a North Dakota State where they are mainly a running team. And even with his switch over from left tackle to right guard and the competition jump, he's stonewalled almost every pass rusher he's met. And I think that continues today with Alim McNeill. And again, I have a feeling Robert Hainsey's going to have a better game, and that is going to translate into the 2 of them working some double teams on McNeill, creating some opportunities for the run game. So I'm going to take Mauch in that one.
Interesting. I am actually going to take a push in this. Okay. I think Cody very much is improving, and to the point where I think he's going to have his best game of the season. But with that said, I don't think people should sleep on McNeill, what he can do for the Lions interior defensive line. Let's remember they are 3rd in stopping the run this season, and a lot of the times when a team is good at stopping the run, it's because of what they do on the interior. So I'm going to go with a push for this game. Next up, we got 2 guys that we talked about a fair amount already. Luke Goedeke against Aiden Hutchinson. I really like what Cody Mauch has done, but Aiden Hutchinson is an absolute animal. And if Cody Mauch stones Aiden Hutchinson.
You mean Gedeke, right?
Yeah, sorry. If Luke Gedeke stones Aiden Hutchinson, I'll pick Luke Gedeke for all the other matchups for at least the next, 5 games into the season. But until then, I got to take Aiden Hutchinson just for his talent as an edge rusher.
If Luke Gedeke stones Aiden Hutchinson today after the awesome first 4 games that he has had, after the terrible rookie season he's had, I'm going to nominate the man for the Ring of Honor, because that would be an incredible story arc, right? Like, we need to sell the rights to Hollywood of this redemption song. I'm with you. I think that that's definitely a Hutchinson edge, and a considerable one. And what I hope is that even if Hutch wins this, right, which we're all predicting, that does not deter fans from understanding the improvement that Gedeke has had this year, right? Like, there are just some really great edge rushers who are going to win some weeks. And if he loses this matchup, which I think is likely, that doesn't take away from the season he's having, or all of a sudden change the fact that he's been a really solid right tackle.
Yeah, and I think even if Aiden Hutchinson gets, let's just say, like 1 sack in the game, that's not like an overall brutal loss for the Bucs.
Right.
Like, I think if Aiden Hutchinson is limited to 1 sack, that's almost kind of a good thing in an odd way. But next up we got Rachaad White against Lions inside linebackers, Alex Anzalone and Derek Barnes. Josh, who are you picking for this one?
Yeah, so I've kind of said that I think the Bucs running game gets on track this week, and in order for them to do that, White has to have a good game. So everything from like a analytical perspective would tell me I'm choosing this the wrong way. But I call it gut feeling. I think Rachaad White wins this. Maybe not traditionally in the run game. Maybe he just makes them, wins a couple of screen passes or a couple of check downs and makes a couple guys miss, similar to the touchdown that he set up against the Saints a couple weeks ago. But I think White wins this matchup.
I'm going with the linebackers in this one. I think Rachaad is still working out the kinks just a bit. I think he's onto something, because I'm still in love with that catch that he made against the Saints where he was short of the marker and then made 2 defenders miss and got the first down. I still like overall his vision to be better. And I think it just comes with time. Running the football is something that you do it in training camp, but you don't get the full effects, and you can't really see how to improve with running the football until you do it in a game atmosphere weeks and weeks and weeks and week after week, I really should be saying. So because of that, I think we're going to get a Rachaad White breakout game, but just not this week. I think it's coming. It may even be next week, to be quite honest with you. I just don't think we're necessarily going to see that next. So I'm taking Anzalone and Barnes for this next matchup. Next up, Mike Evans against Jerry Jacobs. Mike Evans is healthy. He's playing. LeBron James said that Mike Evans is cold, and he means that in a good way. He kept saying, "Pay that man." So I know that's Chris Godwin, but again, going back to the creamsicles, you got to pick Mike Evans in this. Greatest offensive player of all time. I think he's looking for that 1,000-yard record. He's looking to get paid. I think this is a very favorable matchup for Big Mike.
Yeah, I would agree. I think I said it earlier. I think the Lions corners, they're solid. I don't think that they're amazing. And I predict, as long as that hamstring holds up, I think Mike Evans wins this one fairly handily. The big thing is the health factor.
Yes. Yeah, I'm 100% with you. Before we get to our last matchup, we got a comment. I'm assuming it's a question from Jonathan Stutzman that wants to know which jersey. I'm assuming he means like which jersey should he wear? Pewter Winfield, Pewter Godwin, or Red Evans? I am going to say the Pewter Winfield, because They are wearing the creamsicle, so we're talking about an alternate jersey. I know this one's technically the throwback jersey, but it's not their typical jersey that they wear every single game. And Antoine Winfield Jr. has been the best player for the Bucs, period. Not, well, maybe you can make the case for Tristan Wirfs, but he's been the best defensive player. He's arguably been the best player for the Bucs this season. So with that said, I think you got to go Antoine Winfield Jr. Who are you taking?
No notes. I think I would have worded it exactly the same.
Cool. Perfect.
We're in agreement there, Jonathan.
I love it. All right. Next up, last one for the offense is Devin Tompkins against Will Harris. Josh, how do you see this one faring out?
Give me Devin. So Will Harris is not the Lions' #1 nickel corner. He's not their #2 nickel corner. They are down to the third man on the depth chart. So CJ Gardner-Johnson currently on IR, out indefinitely. Brian Branch just got injured last week, so he's out. So Will Harris is nickel 3. And Devin Tompkins is coming off of the best game of his young pro career. And I think Tompkins they're going to use him. So Canales has really started to get creative with him.
Yeah.
And it was really fun to kind of profile some of that from the Saints game. And I put up a video of just kind of some of the fun stuff that Canales is doing just overall offensively. And I kind of finished that video with 4 or 5 clips from Devin Tompkins, speed outs, short motion, getting him deep, finding, and he very much embodies what we were talking about earlier in terms of just keeps working. He's not going to stop until the whistle. He's a grinder. And I think that is something that the Bucs can take advantage of, him versus Will Harris.
I like Devin Tompkins as well. He's a small receiver that plays big. And yeah, he wears his heart on his sleeve. He likes to go crazy in a good way. I mean, so yeah, give me Devin Tompkins. All right, let's look at the Bucs defense against the Lions offense, the key matchups in that one. This game is at 4:25, so we're closing in on 5 minutes to the game. So let's go a little more rapid fire in this one, Josh. Vita Vea against Frank Ragnow. It's tough to not choose Vita Vea, right?
It is, but I am going to take Ragnow. Probably closer to a push, but Ragnow's like a top two or three center, maybe even the best center in football right now. He's playing like it. Not that Vita is going to get owned, but I think Ragnow wins the overall matchup.
Yeah, I'm going with Vita Vea in this one. I just think when he's one of the best nose tackles in the league, and this is no disrespect to Ragnow, but I think it's tough for anyone really to stop Vita Vea. So I'm picking Vita Vea for that matchup. Next up, we have strong safety Ryan Neal against tight end Sam Laporta, who was on the injury list this week with the calf injury. But Josh, who do you have in this?
I'm going to take Laporta very similarly to how I took Mike Evans on the flip side. If this were straight up, no injuries, I think Laporta owns it. I love Ryan Neal, but Laporta, I was a Laporta truther. He was tight end 2 for me in this draft. He has looked every bit of tight end 1 so far in the season. The Lions have integrated him into that offense. He's become a key cog. Injuries may end up throwing this in different directions. Laporta was a game time decision. They're going to let him go. Neal is coming off of a concussion. So both guys are kind of dinged up. So given that both are dinged up, give me Laporta.
Yeah, I love Ryan Neal. Had a great chat with him this week. With that said, though, Sam Laporta is quickly proving that he's one of the best tight ends in the league. Something about Iowa tight ends, man. They all just happen to pan out in a great way. So taking Laporta in that matchup. Next, we have JTS against left tackle Taylor Decker. I'm going to take Decker in this game. It's really just JTS. Are we going to see the Bears JTS, or are we going to see the other complaints we've had about Joe Tryon-Shoyinka this season? I hope we see the Bears JTS. I'm just not crazy confident in it. So I'll take Decker.
Yeah, I'm going to go with a push here. JTS, probably his biggest proponent so far. He's had an up and down early part to this season. Decker hasn't been dominant, right? The Lions offensive line has been very good as a unit, but that's been driven really by Ragnow and by Penei Sewell at right tackle. Mm-hmm. Decker can be beat. I saw quite a few reps from last week where he was. I think JTS could potentially win that matchup, but Decker has a longer track record, so I'll kind of hedge out and take a push on that one.
Fair enough. Christian Izien versus Amon-Ra St. Brown. St. Brown is coming back. He missed last week. I'm going to take St. Brown, and that's nothing against Christian Izien. It's just that's how much of a high level of respect I have for St. Brown. I think he's one of the most electric receivers in the NFL today.
Absolutely the same. And I love the way that St. Brown plays. Like, I mean, he absolutely manufactures slights to motivate him, but it works for him, right? Like, he knows every single receiver that was taken ahead of him in his draft class, and he can recite where they were picked, what college they went to, and he makes it work for him. And it's allowed him to become one of the most productive receivers in the NFL. And I think he is going to be the biggest test Izien's faced so far.
Last but not least, Devin White at Live 45 against David Montgomery. I'm going to push in this one. I mean, the Lions' run game has been great. Montgomery has a nose for the end zone. That might even be an understatement. But I think Devin White is going to show up in a big moment. I know he's been dealing with the foot injury, but he had a week off. I love his confidence. I'll always love his confidence, whether or not he actually plays pretty well. But I'm going to give Devin White the benefit of the doubt in this one and call it a push.
Yeah, I'll take Montgomery on this one. So on our underdog picks, I don't think that he'll get into the end zone, but that's not to say that he won't be effective. He's a very patient runner, and we know Devin White can be a little impatient in terms of gap sound. And so I'll take Montgomery. And for those Bucs fans who are paying attention, I've taken the offensive player in almost every one of these on both sides of the chart. So I think it's going to be a bit of a move the ball quite a bit and potentially a high scoring game as well.
Yeah. We shall see. We shall see in this one. Here were the predictions by everyone at Pewter Report. A little bit of a mixed bag. Scott Reynolds has the Bucs losing 27-24, while Bailey Adams and Adam Slavon have the Bucs winning. You and I both took the Bucs to lose, both in fairly close games. I mean, you have them losing by 1 point. So we shall see. Kickoff is going to happen very, very soon. So I want to remind everybody to follow us on our social media at Pewter Report on all of our social media and Pewter Report TV on YouTube. And we'll have the Pewter Post-Game Show after, where we will announce the last winner of the free case of Celsius. We'll announce that on the Pewter Post-Game Show. And just a reminder, we'll have the Pewter GameDay Show coming up next week, right here on our YouTube channel next Sunday when they play against the Atlanta Falcons. The pregame show will start at 12 noon with the in-game analysis, reactions, all of that fun stuff happening at 1 o'clock. Sorry, I'm watching the end of this Niners-Browns game to see.
It's a good one, ain't it?
Yeah, it is a good one for sure. But we're going to get into the Bucs versus Lions matchup right about now. So thanks, everybody, for watching. Don't switch that dial because we're just going to get right into it after. But let's play that intro. Welcome, Pewter Report readers, viewers, and listeners to a brand new edition of the Pewter GameDay Show, presented by Celsius, the official energy drink of PewterReport.com. I'm Matt Matera. Joined with me is my colleague from Pewter Report, Josh Capo. It's Creamsicle Day. It's Bucs versus Lions, two first-place teams. Let's get right into it, as the Bucs are going to get the football first. Josh, I'd ask how you're doing, but everyone's still watching the show from what we were just doing. The creamsicles look beautiful. It'd also be beautiful if we could sync up our TV. So let me know what you just saw.
So from where I'm located, they have not cut to the Bucs game. I still have Browns 49ers. It looks like they're going to keep me with it till the end. So I'm going to be dependent upon you for the first couple minutes of this. I've got 49 seconds of game left. for that Browns 49ers matchup.
Awesome.
So I'll just leave it to you for right now.
So yeah, what we'll do in the meantime is I'll call the game. Josh can give a fake reaction about what happened. And then we'll sync up our TVs when you finally get it going. But the Bucs are getting the ball first. The Lions kick the ball into the end zone for a touchback. So that is that's where we're at. And man, the creamsicles look absolutely beautiful, I have to say.
So beautiful that you want to petition the Bucs to just permanently change back?
No, because then we'd have to change Pewter Report to creamsicle.
Oh, that is true.
All right, first play of the game, Bucs were in shotgun. They run out of said shotgun. Rachaad White tried to kick it to the outside. It's about a 2-yard gain on the play. And I appreciate all the Pewter people that are watching the show. Very excited, as Jonathan says. Our creamsicle jerseys are fire. Check that. All our jerseys. I agree with that. Like that Pewter jersey you're wearing. Baker's under center now. They are in 12 personnel with O'Keefe on the field along with Cade Otton. Baker play action, throws over the middle. It is caught to a wide open. Do you want to guess who?
Cade Otton.
Chris Godwin. Close enough. First name C. Chris Godwin open all day, gets tackled right after. But that was about a 20-yard gain. And the Bucs are almost at the 45, so almost at midfield where you can look at that creamsicle helmet. Very cool to see. God, they just look so beautiful. By the way, shout out Creamsicle. Shout out PDQ doing these Creamsicle cups, also presented by Coca-Cola.
I believe Celsius has a creamsicle flavor, correct?
They do have an orange, yeah. And yeah, they do have the creamsicle flavor. Next play, they run it with Rachaad White up the middle. He is stonewalled, Jacksoned again for about maybe got back to the line of scrimmage.
Meanwhile, 8 seconds left in the San Francisco Browns game, and San Francisco was able to drive deep into Browns territory. Looks like they are going to try to attempt a field goal to potentially win 20-19.
I have the 2 TV setup as so I am watching that as well. But obviously with my main focus on the Bucs, as Baker's throw on a slant is incomplete. Good coverage by Anzalone on the play. Wasn't sure who it was. It definitely was not Mike or Chris. But yeah, Bucs struggling early to establish the ground game once again.
Meanwhile, the Browns call timeout to ice the kicker and piss me off.
I was wondering when they were going to do that. I actually really need the 49ers to hit this because I responsibly put a pretty large wager on a 3-team 10-point teaser. So really all the Niners had to do was win. Anyway, Baker throws it to his left. Looking for Rachaad White. He gets a hand on it, but it is dropped incomplete. And the Bucs will have to punt after getting 1 first down. Shout out to Josh Dobbs, also running very far. And I have him in fantasy this week because my other 2 quarterbacks are Daniel Jones and Jordan Love. And one's on a bye. The other one has a neck injury and also stinks. So I also had Aaron Rodgers. Ooh, you know, I dropped Aaron Rodgers. I might have to pick him back up. Oh, no. Shaggy. I don't want to spoil it. He missed it. I hope, Shaggy, you're just messing with me. As Jake Camarda punts it.
He missed it.
Oh, boy. All right. Well, I'm down a lot. All right. Jake Camarda with a great punt. Reynolds picks it up at the 1-yard line, and he's tackled at the 10 by Josh Hayes. So a nice special teams play by Josh Hayes.
Camarda
Hive.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, Fox. We really don't need to see the kneel down. Can you switch me over, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, the 49ers kicker pitched it.
He missed one earlier, too. Moody.
A foot right.
Moody. Yeah. All right, Lions first possession. They start with a screen to St. Brown. They waste no time getting him involved. Amon-Ra St. Brown heads up the field for about 8 yards.
Meanwhile, for me, Fox has decided to give me the reaction of every individual in the stadium rather than an actual football game being played right now.
That's fun, ain't it? Lions run it. So they gave a first down to Amon-Ra. So they ran it with Swift on this one. And Kalijah Kancey is in the game, so that's a lot of fun to see.
All right, there's the kneel. Feel free to switch it over.
Second and 4 for Detroit. Goff drops back to pass, has time, throws to his right. It's caught by Laporta, and he's pushed out of bounds by Lavonte David. Lions moving the ball relatively quick. As Shaggy says, feel your pain, Josh Hazard of being out of market.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I've currently got it on my cell phone, so that I can at least keep up with you.
Dedicated to the game. Lions go play action. Devin White blitz, and he gets to Goff. Or at least, like, scared Goff into not throwing it. That'll make it 2nd and 10. First incompletion of the game.
Okay, so my phone is probably about 7 seconds behind you.
Okay, I will pause it. When they show JTS, let me know. Like it's a close up on JTS lining up.
And you're not wrong about these clean creamsicles, man.
Yeah.
There it is. I got it.
All right, JTS, your favorite player. Actually, Camarda's your favorite player.
Yeah.
All right, a handoff at a shotgun on 2nd down. JTS on the spot with Lavonte David gets the tackle, and this will be the first 3rd down opportunity for Tampa Bay to get off the field.
I really wish Fox had updated their graphic for the Bucs on their ticker.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. I think they have the budget to do it. We'll have to ask Greg Almond about that one.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right, Lions at midfield, a 3rd and 7. I feel like a lot of times, if you're an offense, you got to get to the Bucs early because they really start getting together. Bucs bring the blitz. Goff throws it. Nobody home. That's an incompletion. Bucs get the stop. Tampa Bay will get the ball back.
All right. And I finally have it up on my monitor. So things are progressing well. I've got Tompkins on my screen right now. I'm not sure if you have to reset.
Now they're showing Tompkins. I'm a little ahead. 2 behind. All right, I just fast forwarded. So, all right, they just punted it. Did they punt it yet?
Well, I tried to pause and apparently I stopped, and now I just pulled it back up. I've got Baker.
Okay, now you're even more ahead of me. Nice. Okay, they're showing Baker. He's talking to Canales. Canales is like, "Oh, do I blend in?" And now what's a commercial? Did it go commercial for you?
Yeah, I'm a few seconds ahead of you. So this may be similar to our Philly Monday night setup.
Beautiful.
Where I can't control my reactions, and then you're like, "Oh, something's happening."
Yeah. Well, I just fast forwarded, so we should be cool. All right now. Because I still had to pause for a little bit.
Gotcha. All right. So kind of bring me up to speed. Just the first couple drives, we had an offensive drive, we had a defensive drive. Both defenses seem to have made the stops. Is it more the defensive play, or would you say it's more the offenses both shot themselves in the foot?
Yeah, I wouldn't even say shot themselves in the foot. Just Bucs got great pressure on Goff, which was really good. That forced 2 incompletions, which was big. Play action worked well for the Bucs. They only ran it once and couldn't get the run game going. So pretty much everything that we've seen already from the Bucs offense this season, let alone in the first margin of the game. But each team got 1 first down. Lions got 2 first downs. Bucs got 1 first down. So yeah, relatively even.
Okay.
While we're at commercial break, let's hear a message from our friends, our good friends over at Celsius. That's right. Celsius is the presenting sponsor of the Pewter GameDay Show and the Pewter Report podcast. No sugar, no post-energy drink jitters that you get with another product out there. Go to the Celsius store locator where you can punch one in and pick one up at your local bodega. And, of course,
bodega.
There you go. And then if you want to get them in bulk, go to Amazon, click on the subscribe and save. You can have it sent to your house or apartment every week, month, quarterly, yearly, whenever you want it. Just make sure you're drinking Celsius energy drinks, the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast and the Pewter GameDay Show. All right, Baker's in shotgun. Fakes the handoff to Rachaad White. The ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it is intercepted by Detroit. Damn.
Not a whole lot Baker can do differently there. I mean, he's a shorter quarterback, and Lions defensive lineman. Yeah, he got his hand up. Who was that? I can't see. D6. Let's see. It was Isaiah Buggs. Isaiah Buggs got the deflection, and then just a really good heads-up play by the defensive back, linebacker. I'm not even sure who it was.
Pretty much. And Mike Evans was wide open on the play.
Yeah, so good play design, just unfortunate happenstance, if you will. And now the Lions are set up in the red zone.
They are. As Common Sensei says, the uniform curse is real.
It might be. They might want to burn them after this.
Yeah. I was watching a show yesterday where they were like, the creamsicle jerseys are great. Like, it's awesome when the fans are watching it, but it's the only throwback jersey where it's like, oh, damn, they have them on. Like, they play even worse with them. Like, they look great in them. They just play terrible wearing the creamsicles.
Well, I just need to do like a seance or something.
Yeah. Lions go play action, throwing to the right, finding Amon-Ra. Bucs already down on the turnover battle. But as we've seen from the Bucs, they are great in the red zone defensively. Like they are the epitome of keeping teams to field goals and not touchdowns, as they do a fantastic job stuffing out the run on this play. JTS involved again.
Yeah, JTS, and I want to say Yaya Diaby, both of them in on that one. Just not allowing the Lions to win the edge and operate their run game to the outside of the tackle box, which is a big part of their running game as well.
JTS riding the high of Washington's big win.
That was a game.
That was an awesome game.
Oh, man.
Michael Penix, he just throws the ball so odd. But
he does. I thought both the quarterbacks in that one, him and Bo Nix, played very well.
Big time tackle for a loss from the big man in the middle. Oh, Lane Johnson's injured in the Jets-Eagles game. But Vita Vea making a big man tackle, stopping the run.
He actually knocked the ball out. Yeah, that was a ball that Montgomery was lucky to fall on. So the Bucs defense doing everything they can to limit the damage from that unfortunate turnover.
A field goal's a win for Tampa Bay. No question about it. Field goal is up, and it is good. Lions take a 3-0 lead over Tampa Bay, but given what happened, that is a win for the Bucs, who once again are wearing their creamsicles. It means I got to update the score.
Now, if I remember correctly, St. Brown, it was a abdomen injury, right?
Yes, it was.
That little out, that flat out that he ran there, he just didn't seem to have as much juice as you would expect.
You think?
Yeah, I wonder if it's still bothering him maybe a bit more than he let on.
Yeah, made the one catch earlier on their first drive. So far, it looks like the Bucs defensive line has really been able to take it to the Lions.
Yeah, they're winning the point of attack in both the run game and in terms of the pressures. A little bit of that schemed up because of Todd Bowles' creativity in creating pressure. But as far as like game plan, this has gone about as well as you could hope. Even punching out a ball, right? You know, they just didn't fall on it, but they're starting to create more turnovers.
No question about it. Let's get to the Pewter people, how we're feeling at the moment. Yeah, DP Bucks says, we will take that. We don't really have a choice. DP Bucks 32 also says, very good stop. Baker, take care of the ball. I don't even really like, how much can you really blame Baker? The ball got tipped at the line.
Yeah, I mean, like that DP Buck 32, my question to you would be like, what would you have had him do different? From a process standpoint, like, I guess the only answer there is like put 4-inch lifts in his cleats, right? So then he can get it over the guy's hand. Like it was just, you can't predict the guy's hand's going to be there.
Josh, what are you typing up over there?
Oh, I apologize. So yeah, I was pulling up Twitter so that I can tweet a little bit.
No, you're fine. We just have a couple comments about it.
Yeah.
Wants to know. So that gave us smashing the keyboard. Eater17 says keyboard warrior.
I will try and keep that. So all right. So glimpse into my world. So
someone said he's using an 1800 typewriter. That was great.
You know, that goes back to like I want to say when we were doing the draft podcast, right? So we've got the actual camera set up and you can see our laptops and the viewers were very good about noting that my laptop was from 1987.
Yeah.
But it had so much sentimental value because my brother gave it to me when I got the job with Pewter Report, which it's like the only thing he's ever given me in my life. So it's just really cool. So Pewter people, you'll notice for those who have watched these streams with me on it before, I'm in a slightly different backdrop than my normal game day stuff. I've been kicked out of the living room because the family is tired of me dominating the house basically to do these streams. I've been put in the garage and I set up a PC out here with a keyboard and everything. So I was pulling up Twitter. It's my son's PC. He's a gamer. And it has a very, very loud keyboard, and I will try and bear that in mind when I go to type things. But good catch by all of you.
Yeah, no, we're just
it's hilarious. I love it.
All right, Bucs have 3 tight ends on the field in this setup, including Payne Durham, as they run it with Rachaad White, who jumps towards the middle and picks up a solid
6 yards,
5-6 yard gain.
Yeah. All right. White's about 20% of the way to that part of my underdog play.
2nd and 4 for Tampa Bay. 7:40 to go in the first quarter, so we're about halfway through. Baker in shotgun. A lot of options. Caught. Oh, would you look at that? Payne Durham makes his first ever NFL reception. Congrats to Payne Durham. Gets a first down for Tampa Bay. This drive continues.
two things there. Payne Durham, rookie, lined up against Jack Campbell, rookie linebacker for the Lions. So a little rookie matchup. Also, something really interesting. The Lions don't really take Aiden Hutchinson off the left side of the defense. They'll move him inside, outside. But on that particular rep, he was at right defensive end lined up against Tristan Wirfs.
Which a lot of people are saying during the week, like, oh, it's going to be great, Tristan against Aiden Hutchinson. I keep saying, why would you put Hutchinson against Tristan Wirfs when, like, Gedeke's looked well, but he hasn't been, like, you would take Aiden Hutchinson against Gedeke all day.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. Like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm looking to get the best matchup possible for my pass rusher. So I'm saying, who's the weakest guy on their line, and how do I get my best guy lined up against him the most? I'm not all about this. Like, let's create fair matchups along the line as much as possible. My best against your best. Screw that.
I don't get it. 2nd and 10 for Tampa Bay. Baker and shotgun. They fake the counter. They throw a screen to Devin Tompkins, but nice job by Jacobs to snuff it out immediately. Trey Palmer couldn't really get the block.
Tompkins trying to sell the fact that he wasn't down.
Yeah, sorry, Rakim Jarrett.
Yep. 3rd and 12, not where you want to be. Lions are going to be in a zone defense.
Tick, 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 tick. Play clock at 2. They get the snap off. Baker has time, looking, waiting. He's going to scramble. I have the over in those rushing yards. Oh, that's a late hit.
That is.
Aiden Hutchinson obliterates Baker Mayfield out of bounds.
No flag, though.
Bucs looking for a flag. There will not be one. I guess they'll say Baker at least had a foot in bounds still. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. He was still in bounds.
Hutchinson was jawing at the entire Bucs.
He was.
Team. So, I mean, one of the things that Baker's done really well this year is play out of structure.
Yeah.
You're seeing that kind of regress to the mean here today so far. The Lions have been able to get him out of structure a few different times, and he hasn't been able to create the same kind of magic that he did through the first 3 to 4 weeks. Baker Mayfield, I want to say through week 5 was the highest rated quarterback under pressure in the NFL per Pro Football Focus, and an unsustainable like 125.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
They just cut to Baker on the sideline. I don't know if you've seen it yet. And he's talking to somebody. It might be the quarterback's coach or something, but like he's got the Bucs hat on, and it's like, I'm a creased hat. You are too, right?
Yeah.
Create kind of the crease, but completely flat, right? Brim, which just reminded me so much of Byron Leftwich. I was like, did they put Byron back?
I don't mind flat brim hats. If I wear a flat brim, I have to wear it backwards, though. I look like an idiot with that.
I can't pull it off forwards, backwards, sideways.
And some people can, absolutely, but ooh, Jets, Eagles going for it on 4th and goal. Play clock's going down, though.
When I was a kid.
Oh, they're going to run it again with Hurts. They stopped them. Oh, did he get it? Oh, my God. Fucking terrible defense.
You're not talking about the Jets defense saying terrible, are you?
They're not terrible. The Jets just do a horrible job of like staying in their gap assignment on like certain pass rushes and things like that.
Gotcha. All right.
But I think they got the stop.
I was gonna say when I was a kid, baseball was my first love, right? And so playing through Little League for us, it was like, how much could you crease your hat? So by the end of the season, like we're talking like it looked like a teepee. These things look terrible, but we thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Right. Yeah. I mean, baseball is all about the style. Would you go high socks or low socks?
I was a high socks guy all the way.
I would mix it up. But yeah, high socks is the way to go.
I was also the kid who unnecessarily slid any chance he could. Like for me, getting my uniform dirty was like job number one, even over making like the play. Yeah, I was a traditionalist on the socks, but I also love the flair. I love where baseball's going in terms of personality, bat flips and stuff like that. Bryce Harper to me is like, I'm sorry, I know you being a Mets fan, probably not a big Harper fan, but just as a personality to usher the game to a new generation of fans, he's one of the best out there. Just the way he plays the game, a million miles. He's the Aiden Hutchinson of baseball.
Wow. That's a very interesting comparison. Bryce Harper to Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah.
But Harper is intense, and I respect that about him. As Adam P. Park says, seeing Matt having real issues on the Jets makes me feel like Matt should have done a live stream of him watching the Jets on the Bucs bye week.
Oh, that would be so cool. I would do that with you next year.
Yeah, I don't know if I could keep it PG, though. There's a lot of profanities and just... So horrible things.
Let's create a new dynamic. As by the way, David Montgomery, I think got a pitch to the left.
He did
4-yard gain. I'll let you call this play, but I've got an idea. Let's see if you like it. We'll do it after this play.
I like ideas. All right, Goff is under center. Very tight towards the whole offensive line are the receivers. They go play action, looking over the middle. He dumps it off to Laporta. But right on the spot there is don't make a scene, Jamel Dean, and the ultimate thrill, Cam Gill, who gets a couple snaps on defense, makes a tackle. They tag team on Laporta.
Yep. So for those who are, understandably down on Jamel Dean in terms of his coverage issues this year, this is what I was talking about in terms of effort, tackling.
Yeah.
He's still playing at 100. Yeah, absolutely.
That's not easy for Jamel Dean against Laporta. Not by any means. So that sets up a 3rd and 6 for Tampa Bay on defense. Detroit in the shotgun. They send the blitz with Izzy in. Oh, man. Goff just gets the pass off, and it's just caught by Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's quickly taken down by Ryan Neal, but that will be a 1st down for Detroit.
Ryan Neal broke on that really well. I mean, he was right there with the ball.
Yeah.
You can't do it any better than he did. It's just Amon-Ra's got great hands over the middle. It's what makes him one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. Hat tip, both teams played that play well. Oh, damn, they got another game. I got to keep this good idea in my head before it drops out.
Write it down. Type it on the typewriter. Goff throwing again over the middle. It is caught for a short gain. Quickly tackled by the linebacker duo of 54 and 45.
All right. So here's the idea. Next year, as long as the Bucs and the Jets don't have the same bye week, you and I do the bye week game day stream. You watching the Jets, but you're muted the whole time. I provide translation.
Yes. Okay. How about
I think that could be amazing.
Okay. How about we only do like second half? It's got to be a relatively close game. Because like if they're getting smoked, I guess next year if Rodgers is playing, that kind of that changes everything.
Also, if they're getting smoked, I think that could create some really good reactions from you that I get to translate. So
yeah, that'd be funny.
Either way, I think it could be really funny. You're sitting there yelling and screaming and it's completely muted. And I'm like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I do wish the boys played better.
Yeah. Why is he talking about his mother? The other player's mother?
Big third down here.
Yeah, 3rd and 2. Big time 3rd and 2 for Tampa Bay. It's at midfield. Goff throws down the right side. It is broken up by Lavonte David, who comes standing up, absolutely fired up.
Huge
ball out of the hands of Sam Laporta. That was a great job by LVD.
Detroit, as talented as they are in offense, they are going to get some first downs. But
yeah,
we're almost a quarter of the way through the game, and this Bucs defense has basically stood on their head against an offense that has made a lot of other defenses look silly this year.
Long Lost Glazer says Lavonte David put him in the Ring of Honor at halftime.
Let's go.
Yeah. Devin Tompkins, nice job faking out the Lions punt team.
That was really like low key good.
Yeah. Bucs fans very happy about Lavonte David and what he did. He's the man. I mean, yes, he's older. Yes, he's a little bit slower than, when he first entered the league. It's going to happen to everybody. But I mean, he is Mr. Consistent. He is Mr. Reliable. You got to love Lavonte David.
All right, here comes the clickety clack.
Click clack. It's like that Under Armour commercial. You know what I'll do? Bam. Muted. Everyone's happy. Unmuted. He's not typing. Angle says, I know getting Lavonte's creamsicle jersey was the right choice.
That's absolutely. He's making you look good right now.
Tom says, sneaky good. As Mark Fisher says, incredible job by the defense. Long Lost Glazer says, defense is legit. This is a top 10 unit, no doubt. I agree.
Absolutely. There have been other years where statistically they show up as top 10, but then when you kind of look at the tape, it's a little harder of a case to make. And I would say this year, that's not the case. Like they legitimately hit another level. Now, if Kancey can allow them to rush 4 more often and not have to rely on the blitz quite as much, now you're talking like top 5, top 3. You can put them in the conversation with your Jets, with Philly, with San Francisco. And that's really what. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say they just need like a little bit more to be in that category with the rest of the teams, because they certainly have it in terms of turnover creating. they're fantastic at that. Just something with that pass rush I'd like a little bit more from the D linemen and outside linebackers. We know they can blitz Antoine Field Jr. and Devin White and all those guys.
And it creates kind of like this 2-tier of top performing defenses in the NFL, like the ones where you're consistently fearful of them because they can get home with 4. San Francisco, Jets, Philly, those types of teams. Then you have kind of this like 1A group where Bowles, I think, operates there, Spagnuolo in Kansas City, where they have to create consistent pressure through blitzing, but they get so creative with it that 12 out of 17 games a year, they're going to look amazing. And then 5, they're going to get torched.
Yeah. I mean, eventually they're going to have a bad game, but not today. All right, Bucs start their next drive. Baker looking. He's going to scramble. He's going to get those rushing yards. Baker heads up the field, scrambles for about 3 or 4 yards. Like I said, little by little, he's going to get it.
Yeah, what's interesting here is this is the 3rd or 4th play where the Lions have forced Baker to not be able to play in rhythm, which makes me really want to see like an all-22 angle, kind of like Thursday Night Football with Amazon Prime, to see what are they doing on the back end where Baker can't find an open option.
Yeah, I would love to see that. And I feel like that's kind of been the case a little bit for the Bucs for like this whole season. Baker's had to run a lot, and there are times where I don't know, he's just holding, and not because he wants to, but because he doesn't have another choice.
Yeah. At the same time, like on 3rd down, they've given him a lot of really great options where he's been able to half field reads. Like they've got an answer where he can get the ball out quick on 3rd down more often than not. Then when those don't happen, he has been very special creating, second opportunities for himself and getting out of those tough spots.
All very true points. As Baker completes a pass to Chris Godwin on 3rd down, and that'll be a 1st down for Tampa Bay.
Using K-Dot in there to clear Anzalone underneath to give him the window to hit Godwin underneath the deep coverage there. We go to the end of the first quarter.
That'll do it for the first quarter, ladies and gentlemen. The Bucs are trailing 3-0, but are fighting hard.
All right, so the end of the one, Bucs are down 3-0. How are the fans feeling? How are our viewers feeling?
Let's let's look at it. Hold on. I'm having a brief. Something's odd on my end. Hold up.
Hey. Are you ready for the next episode of Pewter Report podcast?
Okay, there we go. Something was like I could hear you talking, but when I had like another tab up, it just completely erased the StreamYard that we were seeing. Anyway, people are saying, great job, Godwin. That's from DP Buck. Angelina S says, I wish we would do some toss runs. Up the gut is getting old. I agree with that, but also it's still only in the first quarter. Let's see what else we got. Mark Fisher says, good. Mayfield should have hit Evans for a 7-0 lead. Adam P. Park says, I feel Detroit's defense is playing better than what we gave them credit for.
They're a good defense. They can be beat, is what I was trying to say early in the pregame. If you look across their defense, like a few of their dudes are just out. Name me 5 guys on that defense that are playing today where you would say they're a top player in the NFL. It's like Baker, Aleem McNeil's having a good season, but I don't think you're going to say he's a top 15 defensive tackle. I think he's got like maybe 11 pressures on the year. It's like, who else do they have? Their corners are solid, but those are corners that Godwin and Evans have to be to be who they are.
Right. And I think there's a lot of times this season the Bucs have had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are 2 of the best receivers in the game. So I think a lot of the times you're going to give them the advantage. But I feel like we've been repeating ourselves at times this season where it's like, oh, there's an injury to a player in the secondary against the Bucs opponent. The Bucs should absolutely feast on whoever they're playing. And sure, they definitely did it against the Bears. Mike Evans had, 130, 170 yards, whatever it was. Keyshawn Vaughn is now in the game. Yeah, I see you, Adam, saying, oh boy, Vaughn is getting rushes. But, I mean, this is the rotation that they do. I don't think it's because Rashad is not playing well. Now, a rush for, oh boy. Get out of there, Baker. There's a time and a place for a quarterback to, throw in the block. It's usually on an end around or something like that. Not in this situation where a run up the gut goes for -5. That was pretty bad, huh? Huh, Josh?
Just all the way around. Like, the Bucs offensive line got beat right off the bat. Lions knew where that run was headed. Looked like it was counter to the left. Vaughn trying to make something happen, didn't, and then they just it goes backwards.
They are not on pace for 122 yards. Baker throws over the middle. Oh no.
That was a first down, just absolutely dropped by Mike Evans.
Dropped by Mike. As Josh S., no relation to Josh Q. I don't even know why I said that. Says WTF Evans. Angelina, now I'm thinking of the Jersey Shore, says Mike got the butterfingers. Common Sensei says Mike isn't the same. I don't know how true that is. Yeah, I mean, he's dealt with a million different hamstring injuries. Jake Camarda with the punt. I don't like what they're doing with the camera. All the way back. Oh my God. Oh, Josh, you were muted. But I want to hear your voice about Jake Camarda.
I said, where did that go out? Like, where are they marking it? Like,
let's see. But Tom says, wow. Shaggy, and this is all in camera, by the way. Wow. Camarda with 1,000 exclamation points. Camarda MVP.
Telling you.
The best punt I've ever seen.
been saying it, but from where the ref was marked, like, I don't think that was as close to the goal line as we might think. Let me see if NFL Jesus.
Angelina says Mike is disgruntled. And Josh says, and he wants 25 a year.
28. Based on reports. Based on reports. We always have to remember that. Based on reports. Mike has not come out and said, this is what I want.
Ooh, great question. Best question we've gotten so far from John Benavides says, did Mike have his orange Celsius this morning? Good question. Probably
If not, he needs to chug one at halftime.
Yeah, he does.
All right, so they're going to mark it at the 5. That was a very good punt. 63 yards.
Well on his way to special teams player of the
month, of the decade, of the generation. I know. Been saying it. Been saying it for over
the generation.
a year.
I know. I mean, move over, Ray guy. Get out of here, Colquitt brothers.
This is not what you want to see out of an offense coming out of a bye week.
Les Opid says, come on, Evans. Catch the damn ball.
Or we're going to start calling you odds.
Yeah. Guy Kolerick Evans drops too many gosh darn easy passes. See what I did there?
I do.
I kept
but now I want to start rest of the game. I'm calling him Evan Evans.
Evan Evans.
Between
like
those
Evan,
two.
like Evanescence.
Oh, good band.
Wake me up inside.
Yeah, I'm not going to try and go falsetto. It's not
Ken
well.
Kamar to catch. He can run. We know he can run.
He can left foot punt. We saw that in the Germany game, right?
Cannon Crunch wants to know, do the Bucs pursue a running back in trade?
No. Nope.
Especially not like Derrick Henry wouldn't even fit this offense, in my opinion. Well, he's great in general, but
yeah, I mean, actually, he's done mid-zone, wide-zone offenses. You go back to like Arthur Smith, right? In Atlanta, that he was his offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
so
I stand corrected.
Yeah, but they can't afford his contract, first of all.
Yeah, that too.
So, and Jason Light's never shown he holds that position in such high value to make a trade like that.
All right, everyone drink the next time you hear Scott Reynolds go, Jason Light, his one flaw, he has a blind spot when it comes to drafting running backs. He will definitely say that. I'll try to get him to say it on the post-game show. Second down, Lions run it for a small game. By the way, we got Yaya Diaby in the game. I feel like I really haven't seen Shaq Barrett too much, despite.
He's got that illness. He's on the sidelines, looks like right now, next to Bowles, so he's not going to be out there for this third down play. So you would think maybe a pitch count?
Yeah, that would make sense.
Bucs are double mugging the A-gaps.
Goff looking. All right.
Maybe the calls to bench Jamel Dean were a little premature.
Yeah.
Jamel Dean with a great stop there. Sets up 4th and 2. Lions are going to have to punt deep in their own zone.
Yeah, shout out to Jamel Dean. I like this comment by what? Evans drops makes me sad.
So
okay, what the hell? All right, hold on. What the hell? Devin Tompkins just called a fair catch with nobody in sight. Nobody in sight. What the hell was that?
I don't know. The Bucs are still going to get good field position, but I have no clue.
They are.
The whole Evans drops make me sad thing. So when I text people, a lot of times I won't use emojis, but I will actually type out the emoji. So instead of like laughing, crying face, I will type out laughing, crying face. My favorite one to do is sad face.
Sad face.
Hey Matt, I'm gonna mute and turn off my camera real quick. I've got a call I need to return real fast.
Do it up, man. In the meantime, I'm gonna throw on the creamsicle logo. Yeah, because we love that creamsicle logo. All right, I'm back. Second and 2 for Tampa Bay. And Robert Hainsey did not snap it. That will be a false start, everybody but the center. Thank you, Adam P. Park, that says Matty Diamonds. Next commercial break, I'll show my picks. They have not been great. They've been okay. They've been okay. All right, Josh, give me the thumbs up if you're good to come back on. All right. Back on the show, Josh Capo. Boy, did you miss a lot.
Oh, man. Catch me up to speed.
It was just one play.
Oh, damn. I do come bearing some sad news.
Oh, no.
If you are a fan of Three's Company from the 70s or Step by Step, Suzanne Summers has passed away.
Oh, yeah. Someone had said that, I think, in the chat, or I saw it somewhere. That's very sad. RIP to her. Didn't really know her that much.
Yeah, I mean,
very sad.
Definitely had a crush on her back in the day.
Come and knock on our door, right? We'll be waiting for you. Three's Company too. Okay, here we go. A crucial 3rd and 7. Baker has time, dropping back, throws it over the middle to the right side. It's caught. And getting out of bounds is Trey Palmer. Tampa Bay Trey. No name, no face, as he likes to say about his opponent. Nicely done.
I love the way the Bucs blocked this up. So Detroit was mugging the line, showing blitz, and they brought Rachaad White literally right up on Matt Filer's ass and just made sure that he wasn't going to let the linebacker get ahead of steam. Sorry, behind, yes. And just blocked that up and gave Baker the extra time to find Palmer on that deep cross.
Another run to Rachaad White. Another run that goes nowhere. Where you going? Nowhere. Yeah, Bucs have the fewest allowed sacks on the season. Second and 10 for Tampa Bay. 9:15 to go in the second quarter. And there's a nice play for Shad. Yeah, I could really use some Mike Evans action. I had a big time Mike Evans over 875 receiving yards on the season bet.
Ooh.
And him getting no yards is no bueno.
Who was giving out that action given his history with 1,000 yards?
I'll keep that on the DL for now.
Fair enough.
Because certain partnership advertisements. And
Fair enough. Fair enough.
All right, 3rd and 3. Baker goes play action, thrown to the left side, looking for Mike Evans. There is a flag thrown. Will Mike Evans get a call in the year of our Lord, 2023?
It looks like he will. And it looks like the Detroit corner does not like Mike Evans's patented club over move.
Yeah.
Where he basically wrecks the back of your head. Yeah, looks like a holding on 25 defense.
Shaggy says, I got 1K on Mike getting 1K. I love that, Shaggy.
Nice.
Pat Rocco says, we have to stop running on every first down. We do it 90% of the time. No deception.
So it's not 90%. It's more like 55%. But I agree. They should throw more. Philosophically, I would love to see about a 65% pass rate on first down. Sometimes it feels like 90% because of the lack of yardage they get on first down runs.
Nathan has a question for Mr. Q. Says, Josh, why doesn't the team use White in the passing game more?
Yeah, it's interesting. I think Canales was asked about that on a podcast not too long ago. And he said that I think the big thing, just to kind of give an overarching answer, is you're not going to see the full version of the offense the first 4 to 5 weeks of the first year that Canales is in. It's layers, right? You got to create a base level of comfortability with certain staples, and then you start layering things in. Canales has admitted that that's one thing that he wants to start getting layered in. The screen game has not been effective at all. It's something that I hope to see more of and more effectiveness out of it, and White will be a big part of that. So you just can't get everything all at the beginning, right? So,
by the way, Bucs had a nice run on first down with a pitch to Keyshawn Vaughn. Then they go play action on the second play, and the pass is incomplete to Vaughn. So they'll set up a 3rd and 3, but the Bucs are very much in field goal range.
Yeah. And what was it? One of our viewers said that they wanted to see a little bit more pitches to the outside.
Yes.
It's like that was a good call.
Absolutely. Nice play by Anzalone. Third and 3. Let's see if the Bucs can keep this drive going. Only one catch for praise be to Godwin as the Bucs call a timeout. And no catches for Mike Evans. A crucial drop by Mike Evans. Oh my God, Quinnen Williams just got an interception.
There you go.
Holy smokes. So they tried to throw a screen. The ball bounced around. It wasn't like Quinnen Williams jumped up and caught it, but they tried to throw a screen, and the receiver or the tight end for the Eagles caught it. And then it got knocked out of his hands, and Quinnen Williams caught it. That was dope. I got to see this replay. Yeah, the ball never hit the ground, so that's a pick for Quinnen Williams.
That's awesome. He's a dude.
He's the man.
You think the Bucs could trade like a 4th-round pick for him?
No. They just signed like a gigantic contract.
I know. But you put him next to Vita Vea.
All right, the Jets will trade Quinnen Williams for Antoine Winfield Jr.
I'm assuming
and Mike Evans.
At this point, you might be willing to give Quinnen Williams for like Baker. I'm just saying, you look at the upgrade at quarterback there. Although, to be fair to Zach Wilson, his last couple of games, he's played better the last 2 games. He's looked decent.
Yeah, he's led the Jets to a field goal. Oh boy! Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know if the Jets would want Baker on that throw.
Yeah. Well, Devin
wasn't really the throws.
Yeah, that's where his tiny catch radius becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Oh man, Jacobs was all over that little return route. Tompkins didn't sell it, didn't get it out there. Whew. And then Baker led him just a little too much.
All right, Chase, Sarah, McLaughlin up for this 33-yard field goal.
McLaughlin embracing the 70s look with the creamsicles.
Yeah. Kick is up, and it is
barely good.
Nonetheless, it is good. As Shaggy says, just got it through.
That reminds me of what Bob Uecker, just a bit outside.
Vaughn, a juvenile delinquent in the offseason.
So that takes me to the replacements where they're like, all it says is Ray Smith has been a resident of the state of Maryland for the last 3 years.
I love the replacements. That's a great movie. Shout out Keanu Reeves.
Absolutely.
Also, I think it's Major League 2 when they're struggling, and Bob Uecker's like, that ball is hit deep to left or whatever, deep to left, deep to right. And unless Shaquille O'Neal is standing in left field, that ball is out of here. All right, start putting in the comments best sports movies of all time. Or if you want to go specifically, best football movies of all time. So, and then in the second half, we'll do best speeches in sports movies of all time.
Along those lines, it's a reference to one of the best sports movies of all time, but there was an episode of The Newsroom. I don't know if you ever saw that on HBO. Jeff Daniels. It was.
You know what? I've seen a couple of episodes. I know it unfairly got canceled after one season.
Right? It made it 3. It made it to 3 seasons. It was an Aaron Sorkin show. He did have a show that was absolutely amazing that did get canceled after one season, but that was years ago. That was Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, which was phenomenal. But there was this episode of The Newsroom where the main character, Jeff Daniels, is he's explaining to his producer, who is she's unfamiliar with the movie Rudy. Yeah. So he spends like an entire season. I know you hate Notre Dame, but he spends like an entire scene explaining the whole movie and how it just causes every guy to ever watch it except you to cry, right? Because at the end, he finally gets to dress, he gets to in the game and everything like that. And without giving away the entire plot, at the end, he has his own Rudy moment. And it's just absolutely a phenomenal show, phenomenal episode. There were a lot of things done wrong with that particular show, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the writing was very good. Wow, that was closer than I even thought it was.
Yeah.
That kick actually grazed the right upright.
Okay. People are starting to give in their favorite movies, favorite sports movies, so thank you very much. Angle says, Slapshot, best sports movie. The Replacements, best football movie. Narav Patel says, The Longest Yard. Please clarify. Oh, my God. What's his name? He's in both of them.
Longest Yard?
Yeah.
Adam Sandler?
Yeah, no, the original, though. The original one.
Burt Reynolds.
Burt Reynolds, yeah. Oh, forgive me. Sorry, Mark Cook and Burt Reynolds. Mark Cook loved Burt Reynolds. Yeah, please clarify, Burt Reynolds or Adam Sandler, Longest Yard. Oh, he's short. Damn it. Taryn Goins says Friday Night Lights.
It's a good one.
Gary Buff says Field of Dreams. Albert Vaca, Longest Yard. Again, please clarify Adam Sandler or Burt Reynolds.
And Gary, if you are a fan of Field of Dreams, were you also a fan of the Costner movie about the perfect game? I'm trying to remember what that one was called.
Yeah.
Had John Travolta's wife in it, Kelly Preston.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Bernard says Remember the Titans.
None of them compared to Kevin Costner's NFL movie, Draft Day.
Yeah. Taylon Odinson says Any Given Sunday as well.
Awesome one.
Yi Jinping says Any Given Sunday is #1 in China.
Thank you.
There you go. Jonathan Stutzman is a big fan of The Newsroom.
That's right.
Mark Fisher says Heaven Can Wait for a football movie going way back. Yeah, not going to lie, Mark. I've never heard of that one.
Now I want to put it on like my Amazon list.
Yeah. John Benavidez says Remember the Titans. Shaggy says Wildcats. Scott Reynolds will like that just because of Kansas State. We do have an injury in the game at the moment, so it kind of gives us more time.
Yeah, is that David Montgomery?
Yeah, it looks like it. Goldie Hawn, Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. That's a great crew right there.
Oh, that reminds me. There's a movie I've got to look up. I can't remember. It's a college basketball movie.
Hoosiers.
That was a good one, but
actually
not
never
the one I'm
Hoosiers.
thinking of.
Anyway, Bernard says Little Giants. Jonathan said, oh boy, Jalen Hurts going deep. AJ Brown wide open. He missed it. Remember the Titans and TV Friday Night Lights. Clear eyes, full hearts. Can't lose. Ooh, Angelina, a good choice. We Are Marshall. Hey, Long Lost Glazer game going on, Movie Nerds. There was an injury. We're looking at the damn TV. They haven't even taken the injured guy off the field yet. So maybe you should get your eyes checked. Maybe you're the nerd and you need a thicker pair of glasses like Mrs. Riley in My Cousin Vinny. Now, Mrs. Riley and only Mrs. Riley. How many fingers am I holding up now?
Oh, God, that's amazing. Joe Pesci and, what's her name? She was amazing.
Okay, Marissa. 1st and 10 for long-lost Glazer. Jared Goff under center. Hands it off to the backup, and the Bucs defense is right there.
Man, they are playing lights out.
And only Mrs. Riley.
Mr. Gambini, are you on drugs?
The two Utes? The two whats? Whatever that guy just said is BS.
The tirade on boiling water for his grits.
Yeah.
Maybe the laws of physics work differently in your kitchen.
Are you selling? All right. Thrown over the middle, caught by, is that Josh Reynolds?
I think that's, yeah, it is Josh Reynolds.
All right. Helping my over with Underdog Fantasy. But the Lions are in territory. Territory.
Kalijah Cansey starting to make himself felt.
He is. He embraced the suck. His words, not mine. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Angelina says the two Utes. Screen to Amon-Ra, who heads up the fields. 8-yard gain. Shaq Barrett is playing. He makes the tackle.
Yeah. Looks like Ben Johnson's starting to feel out how Bowles is calling this from a defensive standpoint. He's throwing some change-ups here. Change-ups here. Man, Reynolds and Reynolds right next to each other. That's going to be fun to keep up with.
Oh, boy. I hope it went to the right, Reynolds. Yeah, Josh is taller.
Now I just want to do a who's on first bet.
Yeah. Second and 2 for Detroit. Greg Gaines in the mix. Someone else, too.
Craig Reynolds gets the first down.
Craig.
Looks like Montgomery's getting taken to the tunnel.
He is. It's a tough blow, especially without Jahmyr Gibbs as well.
Yeah, they're down to their third running back.
Bernard said, second half going to be crazy. Bull's going to put that pressure.
From a defensive standpoint, the Bucs have done an absolutely incredible job. By the way, just going back to that who's on first, fun piece of trivia, as the Lions are called for a false start on 1st and 10 to make it 1st and 15. Abbott and Costello, the only two people to ever be inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame who never played or coached baseball.
That is a very fun fact.
So use it at your next party.
I actually learned a fun fact the other day. Jim Harbaugh, the Michigan head coach, in his NFL career, he was predominantly, I think, a backup quarterback. Yep. In his NFL career, he had more career rushing yards than Bo Jackson.
I saw that somewhere. That's crazy. Look at JTS.
Yeah.
Creating the pressure, taking a good angle, did not let Goff get the corner on him. 2nd and 15. JTS he hasn't gotten the sack yet, but anybody saying he has not had a good game has not been watching.
Yeah. Game. No, he's played very, very well.
And I will say it again. His play this year has my entire credibility as an analyst on the line, so need him to do well.
Yeah, David Montgomery is in the locker room with a shoulder injury. Lions hand it off. Stuffed again. JTS involved again? Could it be?
So.
It is.
Devin White was there too.
Get live.
Lions running game looking like the Bucs running game.
Yeah.
Right now.
Two just crappy run games.
See, it doesn't just happen to the Bucs.
Yeah, just a reminder to everybody, I did take the under of 42 in this game, and I never try to get ahead of myself. But I am not stressing the under in any form or capacity. As a touchdown will probably happen on this play now. 3rd and 13, Bucs should be able to get off the field, but will they? Goff thrown over the middle to Amon-Ra. Oh, he's going to try to get the lane. Oh, my God. Carlton Davis, did he really score? Oh, my God.
No, I don't think he scored.
I just jinxed the Bucs. I'm so sorry.
Oh, they're calling it a touchdown.
Yeah. Carlton Davis got annihilated. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Fans. Well, you should have got the stop on 3rd and 13. It's not my fault. Damn. That's a tough one.
Josh Reynolds, I think, or no, that was
someone just
Craig Reynolds just laid him out right there. Just got a shoulder.
Yeah, poor Carlton.
And then St. Brown doing a good job of keeping himself in bounds. Although I'd love to see a slow-mo replay of. Never mind, they're kicking the extra point. Doesn't matter at this point.
And that is good. That means the Lions have a 10-3 lead. Whew, that was tough.
It's one really bad play for the Bucs defense. That's all it takes with this Lions offense. Other than that, I mean, they've been lights out. And if you think about like some of the things that if you're a Bucs fan that you'd be worried about, like Aiden Hutchinson has not had a dominant impact. Luke Gedeke has, for the most part, kept him in check, right? Lions running game has not been able to establish kind of their willpower like they have on other defenses. Like it's just one play where St. Brown kind of got loose underneath and was able to find a seam and get a good block. And that's really the difference in the game at this point. That and the Baker completely, out of his control interception.
Yeah. The tip
Two plays are the difference in this game right now.
I think it just shows the caliber of these teams. It's been pretty back and forth. It's been pretty much a stalemate up until that big play. Wayne, sticking on the positive side, says plenty of time to get a touchdown. I agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Omer Gaudet says, need a TD before half to tie this game up. Let's go. Mark Fisher says, big drive. Lions get the second half kickoff.
It's a great point, Mark.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say the Bucs need points on this drive. They just need to essentially hold on to the ball for the rest of the half.
I get what you're saying. I think points are necessary here to show to prove to themselves that they can start making something happen.
Yeah.
And to allow them to know that they can counterpunch. I think that's the big thing.
Yeah, that's a good point. Keith Moore says, the Lions screen game has our rush off balance. Vice says, Mike Evans dropped that key catch. He did. He dropped it. No other way to say it. .239 to go in the second quarter. Devin Tompkins catches the ball inside the 5, tries to cut it outside, gets pretty much right to the 25. Okay. Bucs start off play action to Cade Otton. Hello, Cade. Over the middle, first down. Barehanded Cade Otton, old school. I did not start Cade Otton this week. I started
in fantasy?
Tyler. Yeah. I have him and Tyler Conklin, who has 1 catch for 4 yards. But you know what? That's more than my flex player, Mike Evans, who has no catches.
I was worried about that hamstring, although that's not what stopped him from getting a catch earlier. That's not
the case for him. I still have a fairly good chance to win.
I just checked my fantasy lineup. So I had the Jags kicker. That's pretty good. He got me 15 points. And then I do have Sam Laporta.
Okay. I had Butker on Thursday. Oh, Conklin just made a catch. Nice. Keep going, Conklin.
I have DeAndre Swift, who's having a bit of a good game against your Jets.
Yeah. I can't believe Aaron Rodgers might actually play this season.
You know, if he does, that's awesome. Like, amazing that he could come back from that, and the amount of hard work that it would require of him to get to that position. You have to take your hat off to that dedication to recovery. As you know, I'm not a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers, the personality.
Yeah. Well, some would say Travis Kelce started it.
By doing a commercial?
Well, Travis Kelce's response where he said a W word, war. Aaron wasn't talking about war until
Aaron threw a stray his way. He answered a question that was asked to him and jokingly said the war word. And then Aaron tried to reframe it as a conversation. It was not a conversation. He was not talking to Travis Kelce when he threw said stray his way.
Yeah, that part's definitely true, but never said war.
I will give him this. Aaron Rodgers knows exactly what he's doing at every moment. Every moment, every word that comes out of that man's mouth is very deliberate, and he is a very intelligent person. I will 1,000% give him that. I just agree with him on like 8.5% of the things he says.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
And I will say, shout out to Pat McAfee for taking care of the people who take care of him.
Yeah, you know, some people were like, oh, what the heck? Other people were like, I don't know. I mean, I would say the investment in having Aaron Rodgers on the show was worth it for Pat McAfee.
One
in terms of the
1,000,000%.
exposure. Baker going deep down the field. He has Trey Palmer. Oh, just a little bit overthrown. And Josh, that's something we talked about all week is getting Trey Palmer involved on the big plays.
Yep. And he was wide open. And this has been something where Baker's been inconsistent on. He's got a cannon. You saw it there.
Yeah.
It's consistently hitting those deep shots and putting him in a place where his receivers can catch him.
2nd and 10. High snap goes to Rashad. Oh, my God. Cade Otton getting bullied. Nice cutback from Rashad. Yeah. That is the definition of making something out of nothing because that could have been ugly.
Not a fan of the play call. You're inside the 2-minute warning. You're running 2nd and 10, shotgun inside zone run. Or not inside zone, sorry. That's a counter run. And you're kind of punting on the drive on the second play. Yeah. Cade Otton just gets manhandled by Alex Anzalone.
Good.
But kudos to White for putting him in a decent 3rd down position.
3rd and 5. Again, no catches for Mike Evans in this game. 1 catch for Chris Godwin. Oh, boy, another tip pass by Baker. That's going to stall the Bucs drive.
Yep. Is that on Uzurike?
They're looking for the screen to Trey Palmer.
No, Julian Okwara. Okwara had that kind of snuffed out.
The MVP.
Let's go.
Jake Camarda back on the field.
Let's go.
1:06 to go. Lions have all 3 timeouts. So imagine knowing the identity of a Dan Campbell coach team as Camarda just boots that into the end zone.
Yeah, not his best effort.
Yeah. Knowing the identity of Dan Campbell, I would imagine the Lions will try to put more points on the board.
Yeah, I definitely think they try and extend this. How's your underdog doing?
Let's take a look, shall we? Honestly, the Rachaad White thing is doing all right. Okay. Baker, 6 rushing yards. That kind of puts me at halfway to 13.5, almost. Rachaad White has 22 rushing yards. He does not have a reception, so that's doing pretty well. And then Josh Reynolds he only has 1 catch, but he's made the most of it, has 21 receiving yards. So essentially, if he makes one other catch, if he makes another play like that in the second half, that will hit. So not too bad. How about you?
So Montgomery lower than half a rushing touchdown. Very unfortunate that looks like it's doing well because Montgomery currently injured. Auten higher than 23.5 receiving yards. He has 1 catch for 15 yards. So one more like that, and it's good. Rachaad White, I had higher than 49.5 rushing yards. He's got 22. So
you're working your way.
Yeah, and with the game still being close, and hopefully the Bucs defense can hold here, make sure that Detroit doesn't get any points before the half. It means that the game's still close for the second half, so the Bucs should continue to try and incorporate the run.
Right.
Chris Godwin, 5 receptions. He's got 2 right now, so that's a little behind. And the one that's really hurting, though, Baker Mayfield, higher than 1.5 passing touchdowns. That was my juiced play.
Yeah.
He has none.
Baker only has 75 passing yards. Not ideal.
No.
I mean, especially when you include that the Bucs only have 34 rushing yards. Not exactly an offensive masterpiece from Tampa Bay.
Also looks like he dinged up his finger.
Oh boy, is it?
He's blowing on his boo-boo. JT,
oh my God, what are you doing, JT?
I'm gonna get roasted for this on Twitter.
Oh my God, did he think that golf was in the end zone? Was he running towards that?
All right. So fans out there, Pam Oliver is currently reporting on David Montgomery. If you could drop that in the chat, because Matt and I both have ours muted.
Yeah.
What she's saying, that would be appreciated.
Second and 10, Goff thrown to his right. Ooh, getting in front of it was LVD, also known as Lavonte David.
All right, so here's the question. Todd Bowles, do you think he gets a little aggressive if Detroit decides they want to run here with 50 seconds left on 3rd and 10? Would you call a timeout?
Yes, 100%.
Do you think Bowles does the same, or do you think he says, I'm happy with this outcome?
No, I think he would call. Are we saying what I would do or what
both? Give me both.
Todd will? What I would do is if they run it, I would call timeout and I would keep going for it. I think Bowles will learn from his mistake against the Browns last season. Well, all this is a moot point because
isn't it?
Is that Reynolds though? All right, that hit my higher, so I hit that on Underdog Fantasy. So
yeah,
whoop-de-doo.
So Dan Campbell, kneecap biter that he is, 3rd and 10, not content to run the ball. Ben Johnson dials up a nice shotgun play.
Reynolds I think I'm gonna have another. I think I'm gonna go 3-0 on my props today.
There you go. And for those watching in the chat, Matt has been putting out his
Pewter picks and props every Friday.
Pewter picks and props, and you are having a good season.
I am having a great season. I'm 11-3 on my player props. I'm 7-1 on my Bucs picks. As Alden Duffield says, Pam said the Coke in Tampa is off the hook.
Coca-Cola, of course.
Yes.
Coca-Cola.
Yes. Bucs send the blitz. Goff has time. Oh, it's almost intercepted by Devin White. Don't make a scene. I thought I saw the 5 at first, and I thought it was Jamel Dean. So I had don't make a scene on the mind. Alden says you're welcome. The Jets got a roughing the passer call. Nice job, Jets. There you go. Second and 10. Lavonte David gets through, and that's a sack for Lavonte David.
There you go.
Awesome.
Harry
said David.
Todd Bowles dials up the right blitz at the right time so often. Just it's instinctual.
Mm-hmm.
Mute myself so you guys don't hear the clickety clack, but I need to know that.
Cali Bucks says Lavonte David single-handedly keeping the Bucs in this game. Yep.
Yeah, the best teams just have some guys who can take over. And to do it from that position, a linebacker and safety are just such difficult positions to take over games. When you have somebody who does that, it's incredible. So the game's right. It's going to half most likely. This 10-3, right?
Yeah.
I just got a text from a buddy of mine. He goes, "Yep, this is an NFC Central classic."
Yeah. That is that's a great response. All right. This game is at halftime for Bucs versus Lions. Josh Capo, always appreciate you joining me for this. Josh will be writing Most Impressive today, so check that out on pewterreport.com. We're gonna take a brief...
the second half. I can hang out.
How about third quarter? Yeah, how about third quarter? All right.
Back.
In the meantime, though, since it's halftime, Josh and I will both take a brief break. You know, get a snack, stretch our legs really, and we'll be back for the third quarter. So see you guys in a little bit. Hello, everybody. We are back for the second half of Bucs versus Lions. The Lions are up 10-3, but the Bucs are hanging tough as well. I'm Matt Matera. Joining with me is Josh Capo. Hello, Josh. How was your break? You are muted. Sorry.
I was saying it was very great. I got a burger and a hot dog, and I was able to use the restroom. So, all the needs were met.
Awesome. I had an everything bagel.
Nice. Such a New York thing.
Yeah. And I watched the Jets kick a field goal.
Hey.
14-9. They're hanging tough.
It's like that scene from Rounders. Awesome movie, by the way.
I've never seen. Yeah. People have told me I have to. Isn't it kind of like a gambling movie?
It is absolutely. It's all about poker.
I'm using this. Are you a Harry Potter guy?
I am a Harry Potter guy.
Okay. I'm using this Slytherin pen right here.
Ooh.
And I'm writing down in my little notebook, Rounders.
Ravenclaw.
You're a Ravenclaw?
Mm-hmm.
So is Eileen Natchuk from WFLA.
Ah.
Yeah. Because she had me guess. And I knew it wasn't Gryffindor.
So you did Hufflepuff.
I said Hufflepuff, and she essentially was, and she was an awesome guest. Definitely recommend everybody to watch that episode with Eileen. She essentially was like, "How dare you?" And I can't blame her. But yeah, I'm Team Slytherin. I just, I like the bad boys.
So in Rounders, there's a scene. Oh, okay. Lion screen game is going.
Yeah. All the way inside the 50. Is that Reynolds again?
Yeah.
That's the other Reynolds.
Craig Reynolds, I believe. I can't get the Lions are torturing all of us by not putting the first initial.
Yeah. Yeah. What the hell? What's that?
This is not cool, Lions.
Can we get Eminem to make a phone call?
So in Rounders, there's this scene where Malkovich, they've been playing for a long time, and he just can't put Matt Damon's character away in terms of their poker game, and he's doing a Russian accent in it because he's this Russian gangster, and he's like, keep hanging around and hanging around. That's right now.
Lions on the move. Unfortunately. How are we feeling, Bucs fans, by the way? Here's a run to the outside. First down. Vita makes a tackle, but just not in time. What says, I'm mad I was rooting for the Lions the last couple of years, and now they've been talking so much shiitake mushrooms. Joel says, not good, LOL, in terms of how he's feeling. Remember, this game is house money. Saints and the Falcons both lost. Jonathan Bott says Tampa's going to lose. Ah, look at that. They defended the screen. Tampa's going to lose if Lions get a touchdown here. How's that not grounding? Well, the tight end, or not sure if it's the tight end, but the
running back was there.
Yeah, the running back was right there.
Yeah. There was an eligible receiver who he dirted it to.
Exactamundo.
I've been so impressed with Kalijah Kancey here today. He had his 11 snaps in, week 1 or week 2. And he's been really good on the interior for the Bucs again today. Ooh. I do think it's way too early for me to say this, so I'm going to say it anyway. I think Light had a really good pick with Kancey there.
Absolutely. Lavonte, was that Lavonte David or Superman? Not the way he soared through the air. Lavonte David's having a hell of a game.
Now I want Superman to change his colors from yellow, blue, and red to creamsicle.
I would say early. I mean, we're in the third quarter. It's not early on, but so far through this game, and there hasn't been a lot to love about the Bucs, but most impressive, I think you have to say Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and Lavonte David.
And Kalijah Kancey.
And Vita Bay. I mean, he forced a fumble.
Man, that's Devin's had a couple of bad reps in coverage, but man, has he been so close to now not one but two almost picks.
Yeah. Lions in field goal range. I'm not crazy familiar with their kicker.
Devin that was just a really good rep for him altogether. He didn't follow the initial receiver coming over the middle, which took the guy behind him, who they were hoping that he vacated that zone and they would have had inside leverage on Izzian, took that away from Goff, so he had to go in a different direction.
All right, Riley Patterson from 52 yards. This is big.
It is good.
So great field
position. Good.
So great field position for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up. As Shaggy says, wide right. Tom says he missed it. I know this is gonna fire the Bucs fans up.
Shades of Matt Gay. Sorry, Matt Gay.
Yeah, he's doing. I think all's forgiven. He won a Super Bowl with the Rams. He got a big contract with the Colts. I think Matt Gay should be all right. And I know I'm feeling all right when I have a Celsius energy drink. So let's play the commercial. We all bleed the same. Sorry, I was having a bagel. Celsius, the official energy drink of PewterReport.com. You know the drill by now. So many awesome different flavors. Absolutely love Celsius. Best drink around. Pick one up at your bodega. If you want to get the variety pack, go to Amazon, do the subscribe and save, and have it sent to your residence whenever you want. Celsius, the official sponsor of the Pewter Report podcast.
All right, I'm going to say this is a key moment in the game, because one of the things that has been a breath of fresh air about this version of the Bucs is Dave Canales' ability to adjust and learn from his mistakes.
Yes.
I've not been in love with some of the play calling that he's made in the first half, 2nd and 10 runs and things like that. He's gotten some dudes open. I mean, there were a couple of touchdowns that should have been had. The Palmer deep ball. I think there was one where Baker didn't go to Evans, and Evans was wide open for what would have been a touchdown. You have execution issues. The Evans drop that destroyed a drive. But at the same time, I think Canales, he definitely can be better than what he has been. Here's the key, and here's the breath of fresh air. He's shown he can learn and evolve in game, something that his predecessor was not great at.
You can say that again.
So the hope would be you see Canales really kind of in his bag here for this drive right now.
All right, Bucs start out in shotgun. Play action.
Right off the bat.
To Chris Godwin. He heads up the field. Everybody say it with me. Praise be to Godwin. First down, Tampa Bay.
All right, so love this. But this is where he uses that run game to create opportunities in the pass game. So, they were running out of shotgun a bunch in the first half, even on first down.
Yeah.
Play action right off of it. Godwin wide open in space, catch, run, big gain. This is huge.
Spaces.
They are in field goal range.
Yes, they are. For the very talented kicker.
Boom.
Baker over the middle. It is caught by, oh my God, we have a Mike Evans sighting. Ladies and gentlemen,
there we go.
Mike Evans has a reception. Let's keep it moving. Go up tempo, up tempo, up tempo, up tempo. And yes, I took the over of 20.5 for the second half. So I want points, damn it.
I mean this as a complete compliment, so please take it as such. You are such a degenerate, and I love it.
I do take it as a compliment.
Oh, man.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, I don't hate any of it right now.
All right, Bucs inside the 20. Baker in shotgun again. Bucs fully gone shotgun. This time they run it with Rachaad White, who heads up the middle. All right, 3-4 yards. Don't hate it. Second and 7, 8:50 to go in the third quarter. Yeah, they got that spotlight on Dave Canales. See if the Bucs can tie it up. They throw a little swing pass to Devin Tompkins, who heads up the field. Ooh, got walloped on that tackle, but that'll make it a 3rd and 1.
Do you
very manageable?
Do you watch the Pro Football Focus podcasts at all? Like Sam Monson and Steve Palazzolo?
Yeah, from time to time. I see a lot of their clips too.
Yeah. Sam does this thing, and it always gets me. He's like, these two players play the same sport, and you see the dichotomy in size.
Yeah.
You look at Devin Tompkins just getting like pancaked by that defensive player, and you're like, those two sized humans play the same game.
I know, it's ridiculous. All right, Baker, look for Mike in the end zone. Incomplete, but there is a flag. Oh, give me a Baker QB sneak. Looks like they're going to call it on Mike.
It might be against Mike Evans. Running the fade. A little push in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The defender sold it too. I mean, Mike obviously didn't hit him that hard.
Yeah, and Mike can't be mad at it because how many has he sold over the years?
Yeah. Mike, I feel like gets called for it a lot too. Like, if I were going to put up Mike's offensive pass interferences versus and Lavonte Adams, I think Mike would smoke them.
Yeah. I mean, he's a physical receiver, and I mean, it's fun to watch, and sometimes you get the bear and sometimes the bear gets you.
Yeah, it's true. All right, 3rd and 11 for the Bucs. Yeah, it's a tough penalty because he had 3rd and 1.
Yeah, I'm waiting for somebody in the comments to be like, Josh, when did you ever fight a bear and win? It's a story for another day.
Baker looking to his left. What? This is just a terrible game for Mike Evans. There's a flag, though. Is it roughing the passer? I have no idea.
Evans is saying it's against Detroit. He was off balance when he went to make that catch, so he may be claiming that it's a DPI, in which case spot foul, 1st down.
And I trust Mike Evans because Mike Evans is for the children.
That is true.
Go get his book today. All right, ref.
Perfect example of my bear analogy, by the way.
Yes. No, you're right. That's why we always have you on. Or when you're available. Come on. You have an open invite whenever you want to be.
I appreciate that. My other job schedule has been brutal recently. I'm dying to get back on one of the weekday pods with you guys.
Yeah. What is all the kerfuffle about? Nope, just no flag, just 4th down.
That's an unfortunate outcome after those first 2 plays, especially considering like you said, it was 3rd and 1.
Yeah,
right.
3rd and 1. Could have QB sneaked it.
And based on the first few kicks today, as short as this is, I'm not going to say it's an automatic.
Nothing is ever automatic with the Bucs.
Especially in that.
Or the Jets.
I don't know if that's the south end zone they're kicking into or not, but.
Kick is up. Oh, it's good.
It was a knuckleball. It was a knuckleball.
It was a nice little draw. On the kick.
It was a knuckleball, which, just for a random reference, rest in peace, Tim Wakefield.
Yeah, R.I.P. That was that was like a week or 2 ago. That was sad to see. I really, especially like growing up in New York, I hated the Yankees, but Yankee Red Sox rivalry. I obviously watched a lot of those games, and Tim Wakefield was always a lot of fun to watch. I mean, he's a knuckleball pitcher. They're a rare breed. There's not a lot of knuckleballers.
Yep.
So, that was sad to see.
And by all accounts, he was just a great human being too. Like that, I think that's one of the biggest things. Like obviously the name recognition of being a pro athlete, but just a good human who unfortunately
left us too soon.
Yeah. His fight with cancer is ended. I'm not going to say lost it, but it's ended.
Yeah.
So I've been meaning to ask you since we're at commercial, and hopefully Long Lost Glazer doesn't call us like baseball nerds at this point, but Phillies Braves, who were you rooting for?
So I have a friend of mine. She is a Braves fan, so I was rooting for the Phillies. And
that's now, the petty I love.
And what's funny is she's a Braves fan and she's also an Eagles fan. So we're at odds again. But yeah, best case scenario is the Diamondbacks just win it all. Because even with the Rangers, it's like, well, the Rangers have Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. And I know deGrom's not playing and Scherzer's been hurt for a while.
I think I saw he's going to pitch in this next season.
Yeah, Scherzer is. But also, Bucs fans should be rooting for the Texas Rangers because Baker Mayfield had that infamous line after week 1.
Well, you have that. Plus, for most Bucs fans, you would think that they're probably Rays fans. The Diamondbacks have Evan Longoria.
Yeah,
long time Ray. And that's who I'm rooting for because I was telling somebody about this recently. Like Longo, like in 2008 when they made the run to the series, right? Like he was the up and coming phenom, and everything like that. And you had Cliff Floyd, the grizzled DH veteran who only played.
Cliff Floyd played for the Rays?
Yeah. Right.
I don't remember that at all. Yeah, I like Cliff Floyd when he was on the Mets.
Yeah, he was their DH in 2008 when they went to the series, like when they finally took that leap and became a real professional organization. But he was like that grizzled veteran who was teaching the young guys, this is how you win, this is how you conduct yourself as a professional. And for me, like watching Longo on the Diamondbacks now, he's not an everyday player, but he's taken on that Cliff Floyd kind of role. So it's like a full circle effect. He never got his ring with Tampa Bay. So definitely baseball doors. So that was my thing. Then I'll share something about the Braves Phillies thing here at the next commercial break. Long Lost Glazer. I won't distract from the game with my baseball talk.
Fair. All right, Lions get their next drive of the second half. See if Tampa Bay can continue to play this stout, fantastic defense. Hey, this is championship winning defense that the Bucs have played. I know they had the one. I know they had the one mess up against with the St. Brown touchdown, which if anything was just like a great play by St. Brown more than anything else. Right. Yeah, you gotta love this Bucs defense as they stop the run again. Christian Izzian getting in the mix. Oh, Travis Kelce's at the Jets game.
So the Lions put up 21 on the Chiefs, 31 on the Seahawks. Falcons held them to 20, 34 against the Packers, and 42 against the Panthers. The Bucs have held them to 10, and 3 of those came off of, that turnover in the red zone.
Yeah. Garrett Wilson just made an unbelievable catch. Goff thrown over the middle, caught. Quick, man, Lavonte David. I mean, everyone knows who Lavonte David is. It's not like,
the day.
Yeah, like Lavonte David is playing out of his mind right now.
Lions going hurry up to try and get the Bucs off guard.
3rd and 4. Bucs don't send a blitz. Can they get home with 4? They don't, and it's caught by Amon-Ra St. Brown. Bracewell was an inch away from scoring.
It was a nice throw by Goff. I mean, just finding that one little hole. He was able to look Devin White out of the way.
Whew. Yeah, that was a great throw
White
by
with
Goff.
His eyes. Yeah.
Elijah Cansey was right in his line of vision, too.
Yep. That was a veteran play. And Goff has been playing unbelievable this year.
Yeah. I mean, he's like not number 1, But again, for the degenerates out there, when you look at like current odds to win MVP, Jared Goff is at least on the list, you know?
Yep. Vita making his presence felt. Could you imagine feeling Vita Vea's presence as a running back? Just having him fall on you.
You know what? In the Bucs locker room, there's obviously 2 push doors to get in. And occasionally you might be ready to push the door open, and then like a player walks through on the other side. So obviously neither side knows the person's coming. One day I hope Vita Vea is that person pushing the door. Because like, how awesome would that be if I just got barreled over by Vita Vea? Like, it's wouldn't be that big of a deal. I'd just get back up right after. And I'd be like, holy shit, I just got run over by I just got steamrolled by Vita Vea. That'd be awesome.
Yep. What was that? Jameson Williams who caught that?
I think so. It's a stupid pet peeve.
It was him.
I don't care if players don't wear the mouthpiece. Like, you do you, but don't have the mouthpiece and just not wear it. 3rd and 1. Oh, Bucs come very close to getting a stop. Lavonte David.
It's a nice.
Oh, that's a great neck crack. As someone that's obsessed with cracking bodies and bones.
Oh, yeah.
I always said if there was an Olympic sport of cracking knuckles, I wouldn't get the gold, but I think I'd at least get on the podium with the bronze.
Sure. Yeah. So my favorite thing to do is I'll lay on the ground and have one of the girls like just walk on my back and just have my spine pop.
I like cracking my elbow. I probably said this to you when we were in Alabama.
That's amazing. I don't think I can do that.
I like press my fist down on like my leg and it cracks the elbow. I'll have to. Oh, I just did it there. Obviously, you can't really see it because I'm only from the waist up.
By the way, there was a flag.
Yeah, there was. And it was on the line. So this makes it even more crucial.
3rd and 11, just like the Bucs faced after a 3rd and 1.
4:23 to go in the 3rd quarter. Goff drops back, looks, throws over the middle. It's caught. And just getting the first down is Detroit. Raymond.
From a process standpoint, there's the big difference between the 2 teams today. The Lions have made a few 3rd and longs, and the Bucs have not.
That's very, very true. 3rd down's been a big difference in this game. And it's getting to that point where I don't know if the Bucs can afford to allow another touchdown. Just the way this game's gone.
Agreed.
Lions go play action. Kalijah Cansey right up in Jared Goff's grill. Oh, Williams was open on the play, but it's slightly underthrown, and Williams could not come up with it. But
I want to say Williams hit a comeback on Dean and left him in the dust.
We need to see a replay, though, of he still should have caught it. Kalijah Cansey right up in his face.
Yep.
On the left side.
Cansey's going to be a dude.
And remember, like this is only it's a second game, but this is his first like full game. Like
I think this is his 4th quarter.
Yeah. So I mean, just incredible. Hopefully, if he can keep it up. Drop by La Porta.
Rare for him.
Yeah, very rare.
All right, 3rd and 10. They can keep Detroit out of field goal range with a stop here.
They could.
Man, those creamsicles, they not only look great on the players, but the cheerleaders' outfits are legit. The fans in the creamsicles are legit.
Awesome jerseys.
Is he in on the blitz?
They pick it up. Goff going deep down the field.
Wow.
Oh, touchdown, Jameson Williams. That was an incredible catch. I didn't even think he could track where the ball was.
Yeah. I mean, Goff put it in the breadbasket.
Oh, my goodness. What a beauty of a throw.
And I mean, the coverage was tight at the end. He definitely won mid-route. Let's see this. Neal's got the outside leverage. Goff puts it.
I mean, look,
what can Ryan Neal do better except get his head around?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
He had his hand right in the basket. Wow.
That was unreal. So unfortunately, that's going to give the Lions a 17-6 lead. As Ed Gain says, game over. Might as well have to update the score. That's a tough blow for the Bucs. So you imagine they'll have to go up tempo now.
Yeah. I mean, there's still plenty of time left. You still have another quarter. You just came off of a drive where you hit some big shots. I wouldn't want them to press.
Oh my God, Alan Lazard sucks. He just okay. So the Jets.
He's a great blocking wide receiver.
Well, you see what happened? Don't even say that. Oh, you didn't see what happened, did you?
No,
so the Jets had a free play because the Eagles jumped off sides. Garrett Wilson makes the catch. He gets like to the 10-yard line, but as he was running, Lazard got penalized for a stupid blindside block. So it negated the Eagles' penalty. But they kept the Jets penalty. So now it's 2nd and 23, and they throw it to Lazard, and he drops it because he sucks. So just a terrible job by Alan Lazard. It's horrible. The Jets are going to try another field goal. Oh, this is funny. Or maybe not. I don't know. What are they doing now? Okay. Yeah, that's a heartbreaker for the Bucs. I mean, defense played so well, and then that type of thing happens. Devin Tompkins heading up the field. Got smoked, but got above the 20.
Watching Devin Tompkins at like $1.50 run head first into these field goal returns or kickoff returns just makes me like so much more frustrated about Jalen Darden.
Right? Oh man, he's not even in the league anymore, is he?
He was with Cleveland, but
he was.
They released him, right?
I don't think he's there anymore because I follow him on Instagram and I haven't seen him post anything about. All right, Baker and shotgun. 3:14 to go in the third quarter. Getting down to the nitty-gritty. Baker rolls out. He's still rolling. He throws. It is caught by Mike Evans. Hello, Michael. Let's see how many fantasy points Mike Evans has for me. Man, Mike Evans has 5 points for me. Josh Dobbs is 6.74. Yikes. Lavonte Adams has done nothing. Yeah, bad week for my team. Hopefully James Cook goes
off.
Yeah. Or Buffalo's defense could go off. They're playing the Giants.
Oh, yeah. Jalen Darden is on the Browns' active roster.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't post about them or anything. He used to post everything every time he did anything with the Bucs. All right, down 17-6 with the run game that's done nothing all game. Bucs are running on 2nd and 8, and it goes nowhere.
Kate Otten gets thrown to the side.
I'm in full agreement with long lost Glazer. Love rushing twice for 3 yards.
It's a mood.
It's a vibe. It's not the vibe that the Bucs want, but it's the vibe that the Bucs are.
It's nowhere near as good as Peach Vibe.
Or Arctic. Or Arctic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Great pun. Jonah says, yeah, let's keep running. 3rd and 7. What's that, 3?
At least.
Yikes. Oh, Bucs playing like the old creamsicle Bucs, that's for sure. Let's see if we could find one. Yeah, that's the one.
There you go. Use that as an opportunity to take a bite of this burger. Camarda almost dropped that snap.
Great line from Los Glazer. Mayfield gets tipped more than a waitress.
I want to know, Glazer, did that just come to you, or have you been waiting to use that? Or did you hear it somewhere else?
I'm waiting for someone to use a a joke about the certain establishments you could find along Dale Mabry. Narav says, need a pick 6. Yeah. Wonder how Bucko Bruce is feeling right now.
Sad
Probably
face.
not good. Yeah, sad face.
The callbacks that you and I have to certain bits.
Very much.
I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, we're the NFL's version of Cheech and Chong. Or, I'll have to think about it more. Oh, we got a super chat. First super chat of the day. Thank you very much to Michael for the $1.99 super chat, who says, our run game's embarrassing, LOL. It's been very bad. I won't say embarrassing, but it's been pretty terrible. I don't know what else there is to say. Eater 17, kind of summing it up well. Getting our ass kicked on all facets. The only Bucs fan says, Vaughn is averaging 1.6 yards a carry, and he has one less carry than White. Carl Jackson says, what the hell is Canals doing, man? Exact same nonsense as last season. Well, I don't think...
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, I don't think that's fair. I mean, a ton of people were praising what Dave Canales did against the Saints 2 weeks ago when they scored 26 points. I will be the one to add that we also have to remember that one touchdown was set up by the Antoine Winfield Jr. forced fumble. The other one, a field goal, was set up by the Saints going for it at their own 20. But with that said, I think this offense is... Today it's not showing it, but this offense is moving in the right direction.
So Baker hits Palmer on the deep shot, and Mike doesn't drop the third down catch. what's your thought process?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I would say, it's 50-50 execution and scheme. There are some things that Canales has done. Like I've said throughout the season, like I'm not a huge fan of he's in love with first down runs, and there have been some second and long runs. Like that's some of the stuff that I've consistently said in the good weeks and the bad weeks. To say this is the same as last year, I think it's a little disingenuous.
Yes, I'm fully in agreement with you. I couldn't have said any better. Like, I understand the team's not playing well and you want to be frustrated. That's part of being a fan. You just kind of say what's on your mind at the moment. As Goff escapes the pocket.
You should have a holding there.
Yep. No, bring it back. Listen, it's not over. The Bucs will get in a situation where all they can do is pass the football, which might not be the worst thing given how their run game is. Jonathan agrees. He says, yes, it's not like last year at all, but the play calling was bad.
Yeah, I would say, some of the sequencing, absolutely. Like, not when he goes back and looks at today, he's probably going to be like, I definitely did not call a great game. So I will agree there. Oh, is the penalty against the Bucs?
Yeah, it's on the Bucs.
Oh, man.
$10 seconds to go in the quarter, so that will probably do it, if I had to guess. Oh, no, it won't do it.
Let's see what this is. They're pointing at both sides. Pretty sure it's going to go against JTS. Yep.
Tom says, and now we are pooping the bed. You know, it's funny. I was calling the Vikings-Bears game the poop game earlier because both teams stink. The Bucs not looking that much better. All right, that is the third quarter.
I'm going to leave you with a stat from Jenna Lane at ESPN. Just an idea of how much the Bucs defense has struggled on third and long today. Jared Goff has 160 passing yards on third down, which is the second most in a game in his career.
Oh my!
The most was 182 in 2019 when he was with the Rams. So he could break that in the fourth quarter.
Wow, that is quite the telling stat. So, Josh Capo, I always have a blast chatting with you. Thank you so much for joining me for the first three quarters. Josh, tell everybody where they can find you on your social media.
So on Twitter, at Josh_Capo, spelled QUEIP as in Paul O. And then, of course, writing at pewterreport.com. Had an article come out this morning on a projection for Antoine Winfield's contract extension.
Yeah.
So give it a read.
Yeah, check it out. Josh will also have most impressive, so you can see that after the game at pewterreport.com. Josh, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
See ya.
In the meantime, let's hear from Muni Financial.
At Muni Financial, we help you live in the now.
Dude, congratulations. We're so happy for you.
Thank you. And even though the now may feel very different, you still need to plan for the future.
How's retirement treating you?
Oh, just fantastic.
I know I say it all the time, but you really got to come up to Colorado.
Let's do it.
All right.
Yeah.
We can help you develop that plan to keep you on track so you can still prepare for tomorrow, today. Muni Financial. Plan ahead, stay ahead.
That's right. Muni Financial has proudly been serving clients across the country since 1980. They have brokerage services, insurance services, annuity sales and trading, and much more. You want to set up a college savings program for your child if they're getting ready to go to school. You can do that at Muni Financial. They have offices all across the United States, not just in Colorado, not just in Tampa. You could be anywhere. DC, doesn't matter. Philadelphia, Washington, don't matter. So give them a call today. Get a free consultation. Absolutely free. Doesn't hurt to give them a call. See how they can help you at Muni Financial. All right, we are getting to the fourth quarter. Got to change that ticker to put the 4. Time to put your 4s up, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, there we go. Put those 4s up. Put those 4s up. Bucs are down, but they're not out just yet. As Zach Wilson gets sacked for a huge loss because there's idiotic play calling. But we got a super chat to get to. Let's go. Thank you, Vice, for the $10 super chat, who says, the worst that happens, they lose, is Goff throws it over the middle. It is caught. And St. Brown takes or slides to give himself up on the play. Anyway, Vice with the $10 super chat says, the worst that happens is they lose and they have a good schedule coming up for them to get better. As you guys have said, you want to work up to playing your best at the end of the season. I appreciate the optimism, Vice, but their schedule isn't that easy. I mean, yeah, they play the Falcons the next game. But let's pull up the Bucs schedule, because I know they play the Falcons, but then it's the Lions. Yeah, so it's against Atlanta, then at Buffalo, at Houston. Okay, so next week is a winnable game against Atlanta. Buffalo will be tough, but Houston and Tennessee should be very winnable games. I know Houston's played quite well. They just beat the Saints. Then you got San Fran, Indy, Carolina. All right, you know what? I stand corrected. They got a very winnable game outside of a couple of matchups. Got a super chat from Second Royalty. Thank you for the $1.99 super chat. Baker needs a Rams versus Raiders comeback right now. Yeah. No question about it. As Goff finds Jones for a first down. That keeps the drive going. Yeah, Bucs are getting a little bit beat up. Cannon Crunch says, hardest stretch of the season coming up. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit difficult. As Mark says, we keep giving up 5-yard passes. Yeah, that's been a little bit of the, I guess, anger, if you will, for Todd Bowles. Is that he doesn't play his corners up at the line of scrimmage. And it hurts in this situation. Goff dropping back the pass. Throws over the middle. Nobody home. That was on first down. Oh, now that Josh is here, I can actually fast forward a little bit. So that's what I'll do. 2nd and 10 for Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense. Lions at the 21. Can you do something for me? They run it. At least the Bucs' run defense has been quite solid all day. Third and 8. Big opportunity for the Bucs. Listen, you make it a 2-possession game if oh, the ball's tipped. Ooh. I don't know who got a hand on it, but the ball is tipped. Now, looks like Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, because the camera keeps showing him. So I'll make it 20. Still makes it a 2-touchdown game, which is nice. Paul, a.k.a. Florida Dreamhouse, says, I'm concerned Evans is worrying about a contract and is affecting his play. Also concerned Baker isn't getting with Godwin. I appreciate the comment, as always. All I'll say is, as the kick is good by Detroit, Evans being concerned about his contract, I mean, if he doesn't put up numbers, if he doesn't perform, he's not going to get the 25 to 27, 28 million that he's looking for. So performance that's not something he should be worried about, because he has to, if he wants to get that second contract. Godwin, I mean, Baker and Godwin were all on the same page 2 weeks ago against the Saints. why isn't it working this week? I don't know. I mean, Evans has been the best. Sorry, Godwin has been the best receiver for the Bucs today, has he not? Let's look at the stats. I mean, not everything is stats driven, but yeah, I mean, he leads the Bucs with 3 catches for 49 yards. So I don't know who's to really say who's at fault. Common Sensei says Godwin isn't getting the ball enough. I think you can make that argument outside of the New Orleans game, of course. Bob Saget says should probably try to run it on first down again. Narav says don't be stubborn with the run canals. Try that next week. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of do or die time for the Bucs offense. They have to score on this drive. They have to get it going. Oh, yeah, I think I could fast forward now. When can I get to full speed? All right. All right, I'm at full speed with the cable television. So. Angelina S. says, Mike Evans to Godwin for a touchdown? Do you mean to say or? I mean, I guess there could be a screen pass to Godwin, and he throws it to Mike, but yeah. Eater17 says Neal needs to be benched. I don't necessarily think so. Ricky B, I'd love to see some repetition. And Paul says, 1 touchdown and 1 stop changes everything. Yeah, I mean, momentum is super important. The Bucs can score on this drive. Again, it's a 1-possession game. And then the crowd will be back into it. So, you know, there's still 12 minutes to go. It's not over just yet. You do need points on this drive. 4th down will be in play because, obviously, the field goal does nothing for the Bucs. By the way, we will be having the Pewter post-game show following Bucs versus Lions. Make sure you follow our social media at Pewter Report and our YouTube channel, Pewter Report TV. That's where we will announce when we are doing the show. So hopefully it's talking about a Bucs win. We'll see. First drive, Bucs go play action. It's honestly a bad throw by Baker. It's caught by Devin Tompkins, but it goes nowhere. So not how you want to start a drive. Eater says, time for a Brady-esque comeback. Chris says, what crowd? The stadium is blue. I mean, there's orange in there, too. There's always fans from the road team that go to these games. I mean, let's not kid ourselves. 2nd and 10. Baker and shotgun. Looking, scrambling. Throws. Finds Mike Evans for about an 8-yard gain. What says if Baker wants to get a contract, he needs to make something happen here. I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, we're living in the moment. I get it. But they're going to look at the whole season, not just, oh, well, he did this in the Lions game. Baker going deep down the field. He has Trey Palmer. He overthrows him again. Bad overthrow by Baker Mayfield. There's no question about that. He's had Trey Palmer open. Twice. Palmer's just going deep down the field. He has him. Just missed him. Yeah, Common Sensei says overthrow again. Yeah, you're right, Common Sensei. Yeah, I would go for it if I'm the Bucs here. You don't have time. It's a bad call by Todd Bowles. 4th and 2. Trust your offense to get 2 yards. Yeah, I don't know why the Lions returner is picking it up right there. Solid return. All right, 10:37 to go in this game. Good punt by Camarda. Bad decision by Todd Bowles. I like this comment from Shaggy who says, Bowles still coaching not to lose instead of to win. Yeah, it's like, who really cares if you lose by, I don't know, 10 versus 7 or whatever it is? Like, that doesn't do you anything. Josh S. wants to know, what did we do during the bye week? Hey, Lions have a good defense. Give them a little bit of credit. Eater 17 says Bowles is okay with the L. Jets just got an interception, though. It's kind of nice. 13:42 left to go in that game. Logan Merrick talks, says, Bucs in typical midseason, just off a bye form. Mark Fisher says, this is not on Bowles. Baker has missed some deep shots. Wide open, and Evans dropped the pass. Yeah. I mean, if Baker makes 2 throws, this is a completely different game. The Mike Evans drop was bad as well. I mean, I don't necessarily know if the Bucs score on that drive. That would have put them in like around midfield, all that stuff. So, yeah. I completely agree with Eater 17, who says Gedeke MVP today. Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson has been an afterthought in this game. So 1st and 10 for the Lions. They go play action, a screen to Amon-Ra St. Brown, which has worked for them quite often in this game. That gets them about a 6 to 7 yard gain. Yeah, Shaggy said it best. Hutch has been quiet. Haven't talked about him much. They haven't showed him much. Biggest thing he did was push Baker Mayfield out of bounds. That's about it. Bucs defense playing another really good game, and they just kind of, offense needs to hold their own. Brian Shepard says, less press and more prep during the bye week. Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is why the Bucs are not playing well, but Baker at College Game Day, all this different stuff. Jonathan Jurgens says, most impressive is Camarda, Cansey, Luke Gedeke. Nobody else deserves to be on the list. Lavonte David does as well. So does Joe Tryon Shoyinka. Yeah. Second and 9. Goff thrown to his right. It's caught by Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's pushed out of bounds. It'll make it a 3rd and about 3. God, Zach Wilson has no awareness as a quarterback. None. No awareness at all. Oh, man. Lions just get the first down. Arctic Vibe Celsius for the game. I don't think I have any on... Oh, I don't think I have any left. If not, I would. Lions are just slowly chipping away. Good cutback. Stays in bounds, too. Damn. 2nd and 3 for Detroit. Josh Porter says, how do you expect people not to sell their tickets when they play like this? Yeah, it's fair. Adam Davis says, we suck tonight. Far too easy for Goff all night. Yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. Catch the goddamn ball. All right, 1st and 10 for Detroit. Bob, no. Josh Capo is writing most impressive. And Adam Slavon is writing most disappointing. Dump off pass to Goff. Or from Goff. About 8 yards. Honestly, this game is getting so boring. I mean, the Bucs are going to get dinked and dunked down the whole season. Or the whole field. Great comment from Josh S. who says Adam is going to be busy. Adam P. Park says, what about most depressing? Most disappointing will be easy to write. Yeah, it's a little bit easier than most impressive. All right, Bucs still showing some fight. Great point from Ruxus Reviews, who says, good news is that the whole division lost. Yeah. M. Davies says, it's so flat. It's just killing me. Just flat. I agree. Wasn't very inspiring football today by the Bucs. And I agree with Brian Sheffer, who says, the L's on the offense. It's been horrible this second half. Goff throws over the middle, caught, 1st down, just chipping away, icing this game out. Icing the game away. That's another 1st down. Bucs can't stop the clock. A lot of angry fans. Understandably so. I get it. 182 yards of offense for the Bucs today. That's just not going to cut it. Bucs call their first timeout. Yikes. This might be the most telling story. Just Mayfield missed so many throws. He did. 3rd and 9. We'll see if the Bucs can get off the field. I don't even know what Detroit would do here. Goff gets sacked. Who got him? Kalijah Cansey. All right. Congratulations to Kalijah Cansey. His first ever sack in the NFL. A.J. Brown caught that? Damn it. Well, the Jets are done. Oh, great punt by Detroit. Yep, that's going to do it. There's no way the Bucs come back. Yeah, this game's done. Baker will probably get tipped to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be a pick 6. Well, just a reminder to everybody, we will have the Bucs post-game show, Pewter post-game show coming up, not long after we hear from Todd Bowles and everybody. Oh, my God. You imagine the Bucs get the safety again? And what are you going to do? The Bucs haven't ran it all day. Hey, Rashad White with the catch. Goes nowhere. Second and 5, 3 minutes to go. Mike Evans with the catch. He turns up the field. Bucs showing no urgency. Like none whatsoever, as if like this is a one possession game. Baker just overthrows Mike. Poor Mike. He's already injured. Angle says, Canales is a nice guy, but being nice doesn't win football games. Oh, my God. Chris Godwin got absolutely drilled. Drilled. Oh, really? I mean, I thought that was a clean hit. I get, like, safety of the game, player safety, all that good stuff. Oh, man. He got clocked. Angelina says, damn, Godwin got blasted. Oh, Baker, nope, gets back to the line of scrimmage. 4th and 4. See what happens here. Hey, Chris Godwin makes a catch. Well, the Jets game is done. Jets are going to lose. Bucs are going to lose. We could all be miserable together, people. As we hit the 2-minute warning. So yeah, another reminder, we'll have the Pewter post-game show after we hear from Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield and the other likes of the Bucs players. Get their take on what happened in the game, what went wrong in the Bucs' tough loss. By the way, next week we will have the Pewter GameDay Show for Bucs against the Falcons. That'll be at 1 o'clock. Well, the pregame show is at 12. The in-game show is at 1 o'clock. So there you go. All right, any parting thoughts, Bucs fans, before this game winds down? Are the Eagles struggling with the Jets? Yeah, I mean, the Jets have a great defense. They just have a shitty offense. Putrid, I like that. Gary Puff says, Bowles punted on 4th and 2, down 14 with 10:37 left. Yeah. John Palm, keeping the positivity. I respect that, John Palm. Says, positive note, Bucs still own the division. Kyle Dugan, appreciate the $5 super chat, says, tough one, but at least the Raiders won. Can I get a Raiders in the Chris Berman voice? Yes, you can. The Raiders. There you go. Thank you, Kyle Dugan, for the $5 super chat. The Raiders. What? Rumbling, bumbling, stumbling. You know the drill. Bucs Basement says, Bowles is not a head coach material, period. Dugan says, worth it. What's the final score of that game? Did the under hit? I'll check myself. Yeah, the under did hit. Nice. Baker going back to pass. Throws over the middle, caught by Trey Palmer. Tick. That's another Chris Berman thing. Baker throwing over the middle again. It is. It hit Mike Evans in the arm. What is this? Yikes. Yikes. Tough one for Tampa Bay today. Tonight, whatever you want to call it. All right, minute 34 to go. Bucs have 2 timeouts. Narav with another with comment says, another positive. Gadecki held his own against Hutchinson. Yeah, absolutely. As Baker throws over the middle, caught by Godwin, and gets another shot. Poor Chris Godwin. Hurry. Tick, 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 tick. I can see the Bucs scoring and then not doing the analytical thing of going for 2. Baker over the middle. It is incomplete. Oh, my God. The kick by Jake Elliott was no good. The Jets have a chance. First name Greatest says, why is our offensive coordinator so committed to the run when our strength is the pass? This is not the 80s. Yeah, I mean, I think at some point you got to understand when to do the adjustments. And they just haven't done that yet. Shaggy says, keeping the creamsicle tradition, losing. Joshua Graff, welcome to the era of the Buccaneers 2.0. Baker again, throw deep. Nobody home. Malcolm Hawthorne now for a meaningless safe face to score. Make the game look like it was parentheses close. Yeah, 3rd and 10, a minute 4 to go. We cannot run block. It's a wasted down, says First Name Greatest. Steve Jensen says, creamsicles open the gates of hell. Baker throwing again. Oh, just short. Tom says, the Lions did us what... Oh, come on, get the first down. Yeah. The Lions did to us what we did to the Saints. Yeah, pretty much. Just shows the difference in talent. FN Daily, you cannot commit to something that's not there and hope it works out, but Luke did. Very happy for him. Yeah, Luke Gedeke was fantastic. All right, 4th and 10. 58 seconds to go. See if the Bucs can get some garbage time magic going. Baker over the middle, looking. It's overthrown for Cade Otton. Malcolm Hawthorne says, I miss Brady. Another bad throw, yeah. Not the best game from Baker Mayfield, who's now keeps closing his eye. Maybe he got poked in the eye. Common Sensei, Baker, terrible accuracy on anything longer than 20 yards. Overthrows are bad. Come on, Jets. Baker overthrow, that's new. Overthrown. All right, let's see. I'm assuming the Lions are just going to take a couple of knees, right? No, they're actually running it. By the way, all of my picks hit on Pewter Picks and Props once again. I had the Lions -3, the under 42, so those both hit. I tried to do a long shot or at anytime TD. I went with Baker. I thought he'd scramble. But anyway, hit those both. And yeah, I went 4-3, so that's another winning week for you, boy. Holla, holla. Props, I went 2-1. Don't hate that. So... all right, that's going to do it for us with the Lions taking a knee. We'll have the Pewter Post-Game Show in a bit. Follow us on all of our stuff at pewterreport.com. For Josh Capo, I'm Matt Matera. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you later. Peace out.